Okay, let's try and hold off some of these technical issues, please. I'll be live in 2 minutes. Alrighty. Should we see if I can remember how to do this, shall we? I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure I remember. How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're all well. Been a while. I think it's the longest I've not streamed in, like, what a while. But we are back. We are back. I have no idea what's going on in the world of Warcraft, other than I've been squirreling away. I've been busy. I've been busy bee. You look the same after all of this time. Right, so I went on vacation, right? Half vacation, half wedding, right? I had a family wedding to go to. That was out in London. We'll call it London for the sake of maths. That was the reply I had off most of my family. They were like, huh, you look exactly the same. Like, I don't go back to the UK very often, and some members of my family I've not... Whoa, what is this huge, great, big ad incoming box on my Twitch channel thing? Snooze, go away. So... had to replace you with your cooking doppelganger. It was quite funny. I had a long chat with my brother. I saw my brother for the first time in quite a while as well, and I told him that story, and he was like, I don't look anything like him. He denies all knowledge. But even my brother says he stops by the stream once every week or so just to check I'm alive, which is always nice. WoW is still broken as hell. I've been trying to kind of keep some track of what's going on. I am kind of relatively aware that it was broken. Stuff's been broken. The war bank is kind of up and working. In fundamental form, at least. There are still people out there that don't trust the war bank, and I don't blame them if I'm honest. There's some weird things happening with unique items, of that they appear and disappear and then come back again and do all sorts of fun. Yay! So my war bank is empty right now. I did use it temporarily on Saturday to just play with it and poke around. I've been back home for a few days, but you might be able to tell from my voice. I kind of brought home something from London that I wasn't expecting to bring home, and that was the plague. I've not been particularly well for the last few days. I spent most of Friday and Saturday just literally in bed. Yesterday I was a human being again, and today I'm about 80%. My wife, on the other hand, is in bed as we speak. She's done. She's toast. We didn't plan on bringing back the London plague, but we did. Did I stock up on any UK goodies, Marmite cheese? Can I show you a picture? I can probably show you a picture, actually. Because the answer is yes. I don't have this picture easily to hand to post it anywhere, but it's on my phone. Yes, I most definitely brought snacks back. Let me see if I can, let's see how easy you guys can see this. So, I did bring some snacks back. See how easy, let's see how clever yeah. Just a few snacks there, look. Just a few snacks. That was my kitchen table when we came back. There's a bunch of stuff on there. You can see about 12 kilos of Marmite. Yes, please. Thank you very much. So, I definitely brought some stuff back. For sure. Twiglets, Marmite, Monster Munch, Mr. Kipling's cakes times many, salt and vinegar crisps, because you can't get salt and vinegar Walker's crisps got like here properly. A couple of pot noodles. Gotta love a couple of pot noodles. Some Jaffa cakes. A bunch of chocolate that you can't get here, like Milky Bar chocolate, and the dairy milk caramel. Bunch of stuff. Let me guess, it's half gone now. Well, I've been ill for a few days, so I can't really, like, I can't indulge. I can't be a glutton when I'm not particularly feeling great in the first place. Although, I know some people use that as a great excuse to eat a bunch of comfort food, but it doesn't work like that for me. When I get ill, I just lose all hunger. So... there's a fun bug at the moment where your UI resets randomly on your profile is deleted. Wow, that sounds fun. Woo! Gotta love some of that. So even though I haven't been streaming for the last couple of days because I've been a bit icky, I did get some stuff done. You may notice I'm on my remix tune right now, and you might question, well, why am I on my remix tune? There is a logical reason for me being on my remix tune, and that it's still technically the free weekend. Let's see if we can. So, although it is the free weekend, this is what my other screen looks like currently. So I have 4 accounts up and running, and we're just boosting some characters on Remix. That's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been using good old Ranthius, as he's pretty swole, and more than capable of soloing shit. And he's just been running through doing some fun stuff. But I need to set up the other characters so we can get another blast going. That's the plan, at least. Right, I can't snooze these ads for all that much longer. Might have to do an ad break in a minute. God, I wish I could just turn ads off on Twitch. I wish I had Asmongold level money and could just turn all of this stupid ads off. Right, give me 2 seconds. I've got to grab my coffee. Here's to hoping some brown elixir of life will do just that. Will give me the necessary life energies. Function like a normal human being. A normal human being who plays video games all day. Yeah, real normal. Right, let's get some of these bonus tunes set up and ready so that we can do some blasty blasty. I'm gonna need some oh, I think I've made the character names for this run. But how's Prepatch been for people? I have not touched the Prepatch event at all yet. I've not even logged on. My main character not done nothing. Wow, bunch of bots. Fucking love that shit. Get those bans on the go, shall we? Get those bans on the go. Ban you, loser. Ban you. Don't click their links. Ban you, loser. Okay. Moved main to Argent Dawn. That was my pre-patch. Argent Dawn. It's the land of Studenville. He's done well, you know, to have claimed that as his own. It's also isn't it technically an RP realm, Argent Dawn? I mean, you have to abide by some weird and wacky rules. Right, you're ready. That's 2 characters. Grinding the currency for cosmetics is pretty quick. Good for leveling 60 to 70s. Yeah. 60 to 70 leveling is what I'm actually quite intrigued about. Got a bunch of level 60s that I haven't really touched all that much. Getting them to 70 promptly would be a very nice advantage. Okay, why can't I click on that button? How about now? Remix mail helper and auras. Where have you gone? You'll have to bear with me a little bit today, boys and girls. One, I am rusty, and equally, I am only 80% to full health. And I'm going to be trying to do some multitasking, which, as you guys know, is never my forte. Never. The hype's kicking in, though. I got to admit that now I'm back, now I'm playing some WoW. Oh boy, is the hype kicking in. The War Within literally feels like it's on our doorstep, and it's really quite fun. Literally feels like... Oh, I've also found out as well, best news I could have possibly heard. I mentioned to my dearest of wife that when the game comes out, she needs to pretend that I am not here. She needs to pretend I've gone on a business trip. even though I will not have literally left the house, she needs to pretend I've gone on a business trip. She was not best pleased about that. She was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, that's fine as long as you know, come and sort dinner and help with the dogs." So I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Pretend I am not here." It didn't go down particularly well, but as it turns out, her mum and dad need some dog sitting for like a week to 10 days, conveniently, exactly when the War Within launches. So I might actually get the entire house to myself. And then it means I won't feel too bad if I completely break my schedule for the purpose of playing some video games. Wonderful. Where's my paladin? Oh, I need to make a new paladin, dude. I need a paladin-esque name, boys and girls, if we can figure one out, like, super fast. Blood elf, female, paladin, name. I hate coming up with names for characters. It's literally the hardest thing in the game. Killing mythic bosses is easier than picking names. Anthedin? I mean, I'm almost starting to think I might have used that myself. Din. Since it's a female. There we go. I'm also aware I've been quizzed. I have been quizzed about the guild. I've been quizzed about the guild. Now, I obviously didn't make a big song and dance of the guild. Just because I only wanted to get the guild kind of like set up. The guild is alive. I haven't configured roles or done nothing about it yet. But we've got up until pre-patch, not pre-patch, sorry, up until early access to try and get that rocking and rolling. So that's kind of on the back burner for the minute. Today, sorry, I know you're watching one screen. I really should have kicked you over to the other screen, shouldn't I? But as long as I can just boost some alts, I will continue boosting some alts. Whether I will do anything with these accounts once this free weekend finishes, don't know. Does the Goblin Gold Guide contain 2x4 material farm places? No, not yet. Not yet. I have got it to the point where most of the crafting professions are 95% ready. Obviously, some tuning will need to take place as and when, you know, stuff is changing. Gathering and farming is on the to-do list for the next week or so, really. I'll spend a bit of time exploring, figuring stuff out, working out where you can get things. When it comes to like 2x4 farm locations, that's not my speciality. Then the guide is never going to be focused in that direction. There might be a little bit of it here, there, and everywhere, but it's never going to be the main focus. It's more of a crafting guide and goblineering in general, rather than go here, farm this. There's plenty of go here, farm this kind of content floating around. You don't need any more of it from me. Let's quickly disable those. God, I need a 4K screen. 4K screen or some super duper mega vision glasses. What's 1/4 of 1080p? That's flipping nothing, isn't it? That's why I can't see. Remix Ale Helper add-on. Weak ores. So yeah, I'm in essence getting this set up. I'm getting this slot ready so that we can do another set of 4. Sorry, it's going to have stolen my camera for a minute, but I haven't got this screen set up properly. Let's go over here. Honestly, getting the characters set up takes longer than actually leveling the damn things nowadays. Speak to you. Welcome in, Zan. How are we doing? And Kev with the Prime. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Morning, good morning. Lie my ass down to the mailbox. I'm going to need that. Has kind of kicked in my old multi-box vibes doing this, you know. Which is fun. I'm actually pleasantly surprised my computer hasn't completely locked up and died with me doing this. Because I was half expecting that to happen. Right. Who are you? Goblin Wallet. Hang on. Hang on. Let's go back to here. You want to see my wonderful face. The only thing multi-boxing melts is video memory. Ah, not too much. Well, it's usually, most people have problems with RAM more than anything else, I tend to feel. You can run it on like 20, 30 FPS in the background. It doesn't do nothing. Fine. That Pentium 4 sweat. Yeah. Get it cooking. Duck Tour. What stupid names do I come up with? Nope, that wasn't the right name, apparently. Alright, there's 2 of them in the group. Did you notice that it's better to spend acuity on the profession books over the blue tools? Did you notice that it's... I don't know if that's a statement or a question. That it's better to spend acuity on profession books over blue tools? I would argue that's not true. I would have argued that that was probably true in Dragonflight. I would not say that that is true in The War Within. In fact, it's the exact opposite in The War Within. Well, this is depending on how sweaty you're going, right? Single character based. If you're only doing stuff on one single character and you're not feeding stuff from other characters, then yes, you like. Okay, let me clarify. If you have alts that are going to level up purely to provide a tool to a main character, then yes, you're correct. But under normal circumstances, your higher priority is getting your tools in order. They don't have to be the best quality. They don't have to be quality anything. They can be quality 1. All you care about is the skill on them. You need that 40 skill. You absolutely have to get that 40 skill, and you have to do it as fast as you can. And it is of a higher priority than getting knowledge points in cases. Right, one last character, Manthina Din. Stupid name. Manthina Din. No, that's apparently not right. Did I spell that wrong? There we go. I put them all in this little mini private community I have just purely because it makes inviting them easier. And long term, having all of your alts in a community just means you never have to fiddle around with character names ever again. You log them on and then you just invite them. Life hack. Life hack for multi-boxing. Right, okay. Now let's see if my game has a heart attack if I actually go do some stuff. The step from green tools to blue is less than 10 points. The books give you 10 and a refund for most tools at least. Tool quality only affects secondary stats. No, the War Within skill. No. Unless something horrendous has changed since I last looked at the beta, which I can't believe has happened. You can get 40 skill points from your profession tools. Not knowledge points. Let's be clear here. Not knowledge points. You gain 40 skill. And skill is vitally important because you are racing to get to the point where you can guarantee something at quality 3. And to guarantee something at quality 3, you need 100 base skill in your profession, you need the 40 skill from your tools, and you need to be using all quality 3 reagents. That will then unlock your ability to produce top quality, whatever it is you're crafting, as much as you want. That's your initial race, which means that the knowledge points are lower down the priority list. It's time for them. Getting them at higher quality is just a nice to have eventually. A little bit more resourcefulness, a little bit more multi-craft is then into the category of min-maxing. There's no point min-maxing until you've at least crossed that threshold in the first place. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do this, and let's see if my computer dies while I try and do it. Right, you're a hunter, you do yes. Tanking, and you do healing, even though all you do is you stand there and look pretty. Click all of the buttons. In we go, as she says. What's my favourite profession going into the War Within? Good question. I haven't quite figured this out. Historically, I do some sort of like tier list styly content. I haven't put anything of that nature together yet, but there's lots of things I haven't done yet. My computer is definitely struggling running all of this. Yeah, you might be right. I think it might be my graphics card is having a hell of a time. My graphics card is having a hell of a time. Don't need any fancy stuff going on here, do we? Otherwise, I think this looks like it's working okay. If the stream starts doing silly things, please let me know. My CPU's holding out strong. What a beast! What an absolute beast of a CPU! Woo! Spicy meatball, absolute machine. All right, let's see how it copes. Yeah, but a favourite profession's hard to say. There's a strong chance I will. I mean, I'm dual crafter leatherworker on my main hunter. I'm going to be brutally honest. I still haven't really decided if I'm going to actually play my main hunter going into the War Within. There's still part of me that wants to do like the sweatiest of sweaty things. If not to like fully make billions of gold, but just to sort of showcase what it looks like. To do that, I can't do that on my main character still. So I am kind of half tempted to actually use good old Ranthius here once he comes out of Remix Purgatory. Probably still want to pick up jewel crafting though. I like jewel crafting because it has multiple layers. I love the fact that you can. I love the fact that there's a processing side of it. There's a reagent side of it. There's obviously the gem crafting, the jewelry. There's so many different avenues of jewel crafting. I just really like that. Always have. Why can't I do it on my main? Well, because my main's also my leather worker, and unfortunately there is there's a significant lack of optimization running two crafting professions. Or at least put it this way, I'd have to completely ignore leatherworking on that character. I mean, I could just put leatherworking on another character. I don't know. The theory is you still want to do the profession shuffle. I know I was a big advocate for nuking the profession shuffle, the treasure shuffle, and I don't think a lot of people fully understood why I was against that. But fundamentally, I was against the treasure shuffle because it promotes a really, really negative playstyle, in my opinion, which is shuffling your professions. And I, for one, am a bit of well, let's put it this way, on my main characters, I am not doing that. I've got nearly 2 decades of recipes on that character. He's going to stay a jewel crafter and a leather worker for life. But that isn't the fact that I'm totally against that 100%. I just don't want to do it on that character. The other reason I was mostly against the Artisan Security Shuffle was that it was gaining you about 4 weeks worth of Artisan Security without any impact on the economy. It was a completely selfless adventure, and a selfless adventure that if you accidentally didn't know about before the expansion went live, there'd be practically nothing you could do about it. Like, you can't retro decide to go and do it very easily, which meant it was another trap. It was just the biggest of biggest traps, right? Which I don't think they should be implementing things like that. It was so powerful and so lucrative to just fly around for an hour picking up treasures. It was so lucrative to do, it was 100% mandatory to do. And usually that is what falls under the category of overpowered, and often tends to be in the firing line for nerfs. Be lazy, purchase other people's Artisan Security for your profession gear. There's a strong possibility I might do that. Very strong possibility. Because, like, I'm happy to throw gold at it. I'm happy to pay somebody for their Artisan Security. Don't bother me. What I'm doing, even if it's expensive. Well, I've got plenty of alts that I know categorically I won't be consistent with. That I'm tempting to use as mules. Tempted to use as mules. But you got to remember that even doing the muling thing is not free, because you still have to level professions. You still got to get to the. You still got to do. You know, you've got to invest time and gold just to get that character to the point where they can craft that profession tool for you. I kind of would maybe possibly rather just pay somebody a sizable chunk of change. Especially if I can get the guild in order. Especially if I can get a crafter guild in order and I can be like, hey, somebody sort me out. But we'll see. I don't know how cheeky that is. My CPU is really struggling to maintain 60 FPS with stream running, with 5 instances of World of Warcraft running. For no reason whatsoever. I also happen to have Cookie Clicker open because I'm an absolute savage. Multitasking times 10. How many alts do you think is good to start with for the War Within? Is 30 enough? I need to do a little video on alts because I'm getting the same questions 20 times over. I think, and now this is one man's think, I think that the alt army situation is going to be borderline impossible for most people to keep up with. I think there's I have a strong suspicion that people are going to go into the War Within with like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 level 70s, and within a week they'll be like, fuck this. Because I don't think people quite understand just how time consuming and costly. Let's not forget the cost implications of this as well. It's going to be incredibly costly to even get them set up, right? You're going to need to level your professions to a proficient standing. Not only that, one of the next questions that everybody is always asking at the moment is, can I do it on a level 70? And the answer is yes, but the answer is yes for how long? I suspect, because let's not forget Dracothists turned up in 10.1. 11.1 might very well introduce something that requires you to be level 80. It wouldn't be surprising. Now, you're somewhat incentivized to level a bunch of characters in the War Within anyway, since you do get that stacking 5% experience buff. But I still don't think in the first patch all that many people are going to go that ham on leveling characters to 80. And the reason I suspect this is because I must have seen the question be asked 10,000 times already. Can we be just level 70? Everybody wants to know the path of least resistance. Everybody's like, well, I've got all these remix tunes, I've got all these level 70s, do I have to level them to 80? Because nobody wants to do that, clearly. Absolutely nobody wants to level them all to 80. But by the time patch 11.1 turns round, you want to progress with your alt army. That might be a necessity. Probably might not be, but there's always the chance. So this is the thing. We don't know. You'll be good for 11.0. But there's very strong chances that there'll be something that turns up in 11.1 that will intrigue you enough to decide that, shit, now we need to do something about this. Now, I know for a fact there'll be players out there that won't even level 5 characters to 80 particularly quickly. Never mind get a whole alt army on the go. They'll still, you know, the concept of the War Within, though, is that concentration is going to slow down the... Concentration is going to slow the decline of the economy, right? Dragonflight, we saw the decline of the economy happen incredibly fast. And we saw it happen so fast, in fact, that it declined to basically nothing before most people had even got anywhere near finished like, getting their profession set up. Which was ludicrous. Concentration should have the effect that it slows the decline down a touch. So your alts who are at level 70, if you do keep their knowledge points ticking over nicely, if you do keep having the ability to craft certain things using rank 2 materials, you'll probably still be absolutely fine. The real answer is we don't know. Because we can only see as far ahead as 11.0. There's nothing stopping you from using your mules to craft the gear, then spend the 20 acuity to recraft it higher on a dedicated toon. The quality of it doesn't really matter. At least not initially. That's a profession endgame min-maxy thing. I don't suspect that the way I believe the economy is going to roll is that I don't think people will get to that extreme level of min-max quite so quickly. More so because many markets might not facilitate the need for it. But it's It's all hypothetical right now until it goes live and we see what people just do. Some people do different things, you know. Once everybody gets their hands on it and everybody chooses to do the thing that they think is the best thing, you start to see the actual meta define itself. Can you make a profession tier list? It'd be helpful for everybody. Yeah, I always do something along those lines. There's no doubt I definitely will. It's on the list. I think Zanzafall's recently done one, actually. If you want another goal maker's opinion on that. I think Zan's put one together. In fact, I even suspect... I think, was it highlighted in the economy report this week? I haven't checked that out either. I'm really behind. Yes and yes. Oh, there we go. Nice. Which way is better for leveling right now? 1 to 70? Oh, well, 1 to 70 is still remix. Doing exactly what I'm doing now. Just I'm boosting 4 characters at the same time. Tier lists are always spicy. Yeah, there's never a scenario where you do a tier list video and it doesn't get... I don't think I've ever had like more than 80% like ratio on a tier list video. Because for some reason, people take it very personally. People are like, no, that isn't S tier. That isn't S tier because X, Y, and Z, because I don't like skinning. It's like, well, it's an opinion piece. It's quite clearly an opinion piece. If it wasn't an opinion piece, you probably wouldn't have tuned in to hear somebody's opinion, which is always odd to me. People go into watching something, oh, a tier list. I wonder what this person thinks about something, and then they get angry and tell them that they're wrong on a entirely objective matter. I love the internet. The internet makes me giggle. Oh, I love that noise even more. Who's this? Who's this? Siv, my man. Thank you very much for the raid. Good morning to you. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good stream. I have to apologise for my voice. It's I'm only 80% of good health today, even though it's my first day back after 10 days holiday. Whoops. What are you gonna do? Appreciate the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome in. Welcome in. There are some weak auras for auto-accepting rolls, so you can save a few seconds whilst queuing. Oh, I'm not doing any of this even remote. Like, if I was going to be optimal about this, I wouldn't be streaming. I'm only doing this for as long as the free weekend lasts anyway. As soon as the free weekend switches off, we'll go do something else. I don't know what time this is. I mean, all of the literature for it said August the 4th, but I mean it's clearly August the 5th, so I don't actually know what's going on.
Run, necromancer. Your life ends once I catch my breath.
Come, Voss. Your fate awaits.
It's up for another 8 hours? Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Well, I might get another couple of characters done in that time then. Soft little breakfast stream. Did some daily stuff, leveling, rare hunting. Nice. Nice. Find anything rare? I don't do rare hunting anywhere near enough, actually. This is one thing that maybe players with their old armies could utilize if they end up being needed to be level 80 and people can't do anything with them. Dot them about at rares, and it's log them on, kill the rare, wash your fingers, sell whatever treasures you find.
I won't let you.
The ability to return to WoW without a subscription ends on the August the 5th at 10 AM PDT. Player is responsible for any online connection fees. The hell?
I can't
Okay.
fight it.
What?
10 a.m. California time. Oh, we got ages. It's the middle. It's the middle of the night for Team
The bones.
NA, I think. Got ages.
To die alone. Please.
Oh, block mallet. That's a reasonable one. That's a win. Part of me thinks there's going to be such a focus on alchemy's blasphemite transmutes that there won't be enough Dawn crafters with concentration to cut them. Well, it depends how up to date and forward thinking players are, because truth be told, I've not been a big fan of blasphemites ever. I like any time anybody's asked me, should I set up my alchemist for blasphemites, my answer's nearly always been no. Mostly because every single patch that's come through, every single beta build that's come through has nerfed them harder and harder and harder. Or nerfed is the wrong word. Actually made the Spectres do what the Spectres say they'll do. Which ultimately means you can mass produce blasphemites. We went from the initial thought that you might only be able to craft one a day. We got further stuck on the idea that, well, actually you might only be able to get enough gleaming to produce like 2 per week. But the reality of that was that, well, half the nodes were bugged and didn't work. They removed the cooldown on making a blasphemite, and they also now have removed any restriction on you being able to produce the gleaming. So you can mass produce blasphemites on one character. Like there's no need for an alt army for blasphemites anymore because there's no restriction. Which does kind of lead to your point of that there might not be enough dual crafters to cut them all. But I'm also not overly sold on just how... I mean, yeah, sure, everybody will want one. The sockets where you need 6 of them can be produced by a single jewel crafter. A jewel craft, as soon as one jewel crafter gets that recipe, they just print them. They print them as many as needed. There's no restrictions there either, so this is why I'm also not overly willing to spend big bucks on getting that recipe. It's a raid drop. I might do something silly like get it day 1 just for the content, but I wouldn't recommend a normal person spend over the odds for it. There seems to be no bottleneck in that process at all anymore. So whilst thaumaturgy looks interesting, I tend to think that the focus on thaumaturgy should not be on blasphemites. I'm more thinking that blasphemites is like a byproduct. A byproduct that you could... and what's even worse is if they end up being a byproduct, they'll end up being even cheaper than what they cost to craft. There'll be no profit in them whatsoever. Because I suspect that what you may find thaumaturgy is actually ends up being used for most is converting materials around. Smart conversion of materials from one to another. The best piece of content I've seen on this so far is Soul's little alchemy video. I'm really liking the fact that Soul is getting into his professions a little bit more and bringing a greater spotlight to the professions. This is no disrespect to Soul, but he doesn't focus on professions often enough for him to have like a true goblin perspective on them. But that's a good thing. Like, this is the thing. It brings a fresh perspective to it, which is what I've liked with his little videos so far on the professions. He's brought that fresh perspective on things. I don't necessarily agree with every conclusion he's drawn, but his fresh perspective on how the professions might be utilized and looking at it from more of a, more of a raider's perspective rather than a goblin perspective has been quite good. But his little overview on thaumaturgy was not bad, because he highlighted the fact that the materials are, I guess, for use of a better word, in families. Meaning that you can sort of decide that, right, well, if I want to mass produce some of these materials, I can buy this, destroy it via the thaumaturgy system, and, you know, it's just a maths game then.
Everything must burn. None you too shall be charmed.
Somebody who can't afford your Golem Guide, what 2 professions would you recommend for the first 3 weeks of the launch? Whatever you want. Like, genuinely, that's not a get out of jail free card answer. Literally whatever you want. Fundamentally, if you pick any 2 professions, or, well, arguably, you're best off picking 1 profession and doing everything you can to get as far ahead in that 1 profession as you can. Do everything you can to get the profession tools, do everything you can to unlock the reputations, do everything you can to get as many knowledge points as you can, do everything you can to get as many recipes for that profession as you can. Everything has use, everything has value. And on that basis, I'd recommend that just pick any of them and focus on it, honestly. You can see in retail right now just how concentration integrates with the system as a whole, and that should give you a little bit of a sneak preview into the fact that top tier materials will need, we will need a wide spread of crafters. If everybody does the same thing, we're going to be in an awkward situation where everybody is making no gold and everybody is, you know, desperate for one item that's made by the thing that everybody isn't doing. The system is designed so that we need a relatively equal spread of everything. So pick genuinely whichever professions interest you the most. And if you don't want to mess around with any of that faff, like a few people have just mentioned in chat, just pick gathering. Because honestly, getting your hands on some rank 3 materials via gathering will be pretty lucrative. Mining herbalism will make the most gold if you've got the time. Gathering always has a ceiling, right? This is why I've always leaned into crafting more than gathering. Gathering has a ceiling. You can very quickly calculate, right, how much gold am I making per hour? And then it's just about spending time. You directly trade your time, trade it for some materials that you know are roughly going to be worth this. And the very second you stop farming, you stop producing gold. And worse, the second you stop farming, all of the other farmers get ahead of you and your potential gold per hour drops off a cliff. Gathering is weird in a sense of that the more you do it, the worse you get at it. Because of just how the market works with gathering materials. The material prices go down slowly but surely. And so the more time and effort you put into it, the less you actually get out of it until something fantastic and new and shiny turns up for you to maybe go and farm. Which is weird. Crafting, on the other hand, has almost no ceiling. It has more of a ceiling this time. And what I mean by ceiling is I mean like an upper limit. There's the gathering has a very solid upper ceiling, right? Unless you can just magically fly faster or pick up faster, your gold per hour doesn't particularly increase past a certain point. It's like that. There's a limit you can get to, and that you can't really get any further. Crafting, there's less of a ceiling. Meaning if you do specialize in crafting, you can often throw some gold at it to get a better performance out the other end. And more importantly, your efforts with crafting tend to maintain themselves for a lot longer. Often crafting has a front-loaded effort. You have to put a lot of time and effort, and sometimes gold, into leveling the professions in the first place. Then once you've got them, you've got that recipe for life. It's never going away. You're never going to have to earn that recipe again. You've just got it. Obviously, concentration is the spanner in the works here. But the logic with that is that the sooner you get to a position where your concentration can make gold for you, the longer you can take advantage of concentration making gold for you. So if you get your professions up in order nice and quickly... Dragonflight was a good example of this. If you got your professions if you got your knowledge points fully sorted pretty quickly in Dragonflight, you've had the best part of the whole expansion to take advantage of that. And some people have definitely taken advantage of that. Especially in a world where there's not been any catch-up system. But there are also times, let's just point out with this, that if you're not optimized with your crafting, you can quite definitely make significantly less gold than you would just by gathering. There's two sides to crafting. It can either make you shitloads of gold, or it can make you nothing. Whereas gathering sits in the middle. It's just, the old faithful, the old reliable. And we get a hot take on the economy before Season 1 opens. A hot take? You want a hot take? My hot take, I guess, let's throw a hot take. I don't know how hot this is. But the goblins that will make the most gold will not have alt armies. They will not be super sweaty with crafting. Goblins that will make the most gold in the War Within are the ones that are willing to risk resetting markets. We have now had the region-wide auction house for an entire expansion. During that entire expansion, though, we have also seen a profession system that fundamentally allows people to mass produce anything they want as fast as they want. No restrictions. As long as you knew your numbers, as long as you'd done the maths, as long as you understood hidden skill value, as long as you understood your inspiration rate, as long as you understood that if you pressed the craft button 1,000 times, as long as you understood what you were going to get out of it at the end, if you removed the randomness from the equation by just doing it at scale, you had no limit on what you could craft. What this meant was that any time an item slightly rose in price, hundreds of people were able to dive on it incredibly quickly and reset that market back down to its pre-reset price super fast. Like within minutes. Like market resets didn't last 5 minutes in Dragonflight. Because there was no restriction for people to be able to run away, press a button 500 times, and then post a bunch of shit. Concentration is going to be the limiting factor for that. When a reset on something happens, resets will predominantly only happen on Quality 3 stuff, by the way. When resets on Quality 3 stuff happens, nobody is going to be able to fix that problem particularly fast, which takes away a lot of the risk of resetting a market. Now, let's not forget, it's still risky because you're dealing with the region-wide auction house here. But if somebody turns up and they reset the price on Quality 3, some fancy potion, flask, there's a strong likelihood that that reset will hold for significantly longer than it did in Dragonflight. which gives those who are experienced with flipping and experienced with resetting markets, and to those who probably have an awful lot of gold already due to that experience, massive potential to do some ludicrous things in the War Within. So I suspect we will start to see a few more billionaires turn up in the War Within. And they won't be pissing around with blasphemites, let me tell you that. Not so much of a hot take, but the rich get richer potential here is wild. Is that a similar case for raw materials also? Are Q3 mats not guaranteed from gathering? True. True. You can never guarantee... Well, you couldn't in Dragonflight either, to be fair, but like the chance of getting them was pretty high. Rank 3 materials themselves are more difficult to acquire. You need significantly more skill in your professions before you... Like, for example... Until you actively choose to spec into getting quality 3 materials, you won't see any as a gatherer. It's not that you'll get some occasionally. You straight up don't see them until you've actually put points into your spec tree to start finding them. And even then, it's a curve, right? You have to. The more points you put in, the more frequent you'll see them. But yeah, a default gatherer without spending reasonable knowledge in their spec trees does not see quality 3 materials. You can have 100 skill, you can have your profession tools in order, and you flat out just still don't see them. You have to spec into like that ore node or that herb specifically, or you can start gaining enough skill to even start finding quality 3. I said this at the beginning of Dragonflight. I said that gathering actually looks more interesting now that there's the spectries and stuff in it. I actually think even more so in the War Within it looks more interesting now, because it's going to put more emphasis on actually speccing in a direction. Like, everybody just went Awakenings. Everybody just went Elemental because that was the smart thing to do. You boost the amount of Elementals you get, and you get quality 2 and 3 by default anyway, so in a weird scenario, the herbs and the ore via gathering in Dragonflight were actually the byproduct. They were the thing that you didn't really care too much about. You went out there to get some Awakened Order, or some Awakened Fire or Earth or whatever. The Awakened was the thing you were really after more so than anything else, which was weird, very odd. They seem to have got rid of that oddness. You get less herbs. You get lower quality herbs. And I still wonder. We have absolutely no idea how this is going to play out until the game goes live. But I do wonder what the prices of these herbs and ores are going to be. I wonder if they've somehow balanced it this time around. So much so that this skill up... What do they call it? The refinement of herbs and ore might be a thing. That you can turn quality 1s into quality 2s and quality 2s into quality 3s. So that's not to say you can't go out there and gather and end up your run with quality 3s. You just might not be gathering them natively. You might need to be, you know, farming quality 1s and 2s. And then converting them up to quality 3s if you need to, as and where the price makes sense to do such. But I suspect, at least early days, I suspect that quality 3 raw materials will be about 4 times the price of whatever a quality 2 material is. Because so few people will actually be able to gather them naturally.
Alone. Please.
They will be in the utmost of demand by all of the crafters. Because if you want to, you know, crafters now, more so than ever, absolutely need quality 3 to get the best results their side of things. And in the early days, weeks, month or 2 maybe, you might have to convert them up before you actually see anything. What's occurring here? Wild wife has appeared. Please hold. Does a character need to be level 80 to start doing the professions? No, not strictly. You can start at level 70. You want one character at 80 at least. But once you've unlocked adventure mode, you should be good to go. But how long that luxury lasts for, we don't know. 11.1 might bring something that requires you to be level 80, you see. We just don't know yet. That's how it works in Dragonflight. Let's not forget Dracothis for a level 80 thing. That was a big market for most of the expansion. You know they're going to take screenshots of that, right?
You dare disturb these waters? You will.
Gatherers just need to gather something to learn the War Within professions. I'm not sure. You can fly straight to Dornogal anyway. It's only 30 seconds outside the starting zone. Did I hear it right earlier that you said you only want to focus on one crafting profession on each character? How come? Well, that's mostly an artisan's acuity limitation, really. You need... And it's based on what your priority is. Your priority with your professions is to get your skill up to 100 and your profession tools in order. Now that's going to take 900 artisans acuity to happen, because it's 300 per tool. You could argue that you could get those tools off an alt, but at that point, you know, that's already a step above a normal player's sort of mindset anyway. Not to mention, you have knowledge books and all sorts of stuff that are going to cost artisans acuity, and you're straight up just going to be limited to how much of that you have to begin with. If you start splitting it across 2 professions, you could either keep up with everybody else with 1, or you could be half as effective with 2. So at least short term, you're going to have to pick it. If you have got characters like myself, I've doubled up my crafting professions on all of my toons for years. I'm going to have to pick a primary profession on each character, at least short term, until that one is optimized, and then you can start spending the artisan's acuity on the other. Some delves have ore in them. They do. I don't think there's anywhere near enough ore in the delves or materials in the delves for you to like actively farm them. It's a bit of a worry that it could end up being a bit of a bot hangout because obviously they're instanced. And that said though, bots don't seem to care really so much nowadays, do they? They get banned, they just roll a new one. Doesn't seem to hinder their progress much.
No, stop! Obey your master!
Don't mention Dracothis, I still have phantom pains. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. Given the change to acuity from the treasures, what do you anticipate to be the available acuity to a character week 1 or week 2? You should be able to get somewhere in the region of about 450 artisans acuity in your first week, which is a key number because if you are going this road of profession, like tool mules, we'll call them for the sake of terminology, you're going to level an alt and level their profession with the ultimate goal of unlocking a tool recipe and feeding it to a main character. You are often going to need 450 artisans acuity to do that because most of the tool recipes cost artisans acuity unless it happens to be like a trainer one or a drop or something like that, but they're few and far between. Most of the tools are bought recipes and they cost 150 artisans acuity themselves just to get the recipe. So you need to get the recipe and then you need 300 to make the thing or your main. But 450-ish should be achievable. The number is a little loose because it's quite dependent on NPC work orders. Or, sorry, should we call them patron orders as the game wants us to call them? Are they patron orders in retail yet, by the way? Have they changed that? Prepatch went live and they were still called NPC orders, which was funny. Hey, Bear, how we doing? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. We are back. Physically, mostly mentally. Still says NPC orders? Okay.
Let's make sweet
The
profit
beta
together.
is... I also believe the beta is now a release candidate, which is fun. Release candidate usually indicates that we shouldn't be getting any dramatic changes from this point on. It should just be bug fixes. Now, that doesn't necessarily always count when it comes to profession stuff, though. I've noticed in the past, they tend to fix that as and when they sense there's a problem. But it does mean in the next week or... well, it's got to be in the next week or two, doesn't it, really? In the not too distant future, we'll be able to finalize and like really lock down the profession leveling information. Make sure the guide is fully updated. Make sure there's at least a rough 1 to 100 guide for every profession. If I can get it nailed down to an exact sort of material list and stuff as well, that would be really nice. But the materials that are needed to level up your professions are a little bit more vague this expansion, I've noticed as well. There's a lot more variancy. A lot of times where you're crafting this or this or this, they all sort of do the same thing. Obviously, you're just gonna... your prerogative is to pick whichever materials are cheaper. Bear with the sub, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What are they doing to our ale?
Is it still hot in Bear World? I noticed, obviously, you had your... you couldn't even bear to be on camera yesterday. Haha, pun intended. Oh. Wow, I asked about the weather and it started raining. Wow. I literally asked about the weather And the heavens opened. Karma.
Yes. So close.
I don't think you'll be able to hear that on the microphone, but my metal roof echoes quite badly when it rains. Keep the rain there, please. You want to be an Inca?
Just a drop of honey.
Never rains in Inca.
Sugar and maybe some corn. Yes, more corn.
That's not where I am, by the way, but it's where I am.
Yes. No.
Where are summer places?
No. Yes. No. Peppers.
How's the wedding? Have fun in sunny England? Oh, the wedding was fantastic. I said this to the wife the other day. I was talking about the fact that I've probably only been on, like, maybe I can count the amount of weddings I've ever been to on one hand. And I then turned around and mentioned that I think the wedding we went to at the weekend was probably the best wedding I've ever been to. And then I suddenly had to quickly correct myself on the fact that I am married. I was at my own wedding. So that clearly has to be top of the list, doesn't it, really? But the wedding I went to was a very comfortable second, should we say.
What have you done? You again? Don't you see?
Luckily, my wife has a sense of humour.
Name for myself.
Has to have married me. I got out of that one as fast as I dug myself into it. Almost in the doghouse. I wouldn't mind being in the doghouse. I've got 2 dogs and they're both very fluffy. I'm sure it's a cozy place to be, honestly. Thin ice? Yeah, the summer in Finland. The definition of thin ice. We need a ranking every wedding I've ever been to video. If I was the Uber internet celebrity, then maybe. But I think there's not many people that can get away with doing a video like that, to be honest. Casey Neistat, maybe. Oh my god, it really is raining. Please don't be a thunderstorm. Please don't knock out my electricity. You know what? You know what I am going to have to do? I'm going to have to put some of this wonderful Patreon money you lot have pledged recently in order to get your hands on the guide. I'm absolutely going to have to designate some of that towards getting a what's the right term? I get this wrong every time. A UPS? Not a surge protector. I always call them surge protectors. That's partly the thing that I want it to do, but it's not. It's a UPS. The big old battery ting. My internet, not only my, well, it's not going to help with the internet, obviously. If the power goes, the internet goes. Or does it? I don't know. I'm sure if the electricity goes, the internet also goes. I don't think I could even plug my router into the UPS. I don't think that makes a difference, does it? No. No electricity. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's fiber straight to the house, so I don't know how that works. I don't know if it actually is actively powered. If during a power cut it would still work. I don't know. Does Patreon immediately go live, or is there a delay? Planning on jumping onto it next week? It's instant. Always good-ass instant. Patreon is, for the most part, just the platform. It is just the payment portal, really. The 3 tiers on the Patreon. Most people are obviously interested in the gold tier one at the moment, due to the fact that it gets you the guide. Everything is handled in Discord though. So you link your Patreon up to Discord, which it prompts you to do it. It prompts you to do it. It's 3 button presses or something. It prompts you to do it, and then you may notice if you're already in the Discord that people have orange names. Those with orange names in the Discord have got their Patreon linked, and the Patreon bot dishes out the correct roles, and it's all seamless, all automatic. It can sometimes take a few minutes for the Patreon bot to wake up, but most of the time it's practically instant. Then you'll have access to the relevant channels and all the goodies. Used to have a UPS in Africa, was so glad for it. Yeah, I need one here. I need one here. Mostly because I've got 2 PCs running. I don't live in the country, but I live in a small town. Which means that if we get like a big thunderstorm, it has been known for the electricity to go nope. Which obviously is not good if you know the plug is just being pulled on everything. I'd much prefer, even if it's like a 10-minute warning to like turn everything off properly. It's literally all I need it for, really. When's the guide out, by the way? It's out. It's ready to rock and roll. It's I'll give you a I didn't mean for this to be a shameless promo, but I will give you guys a bit of a sneak peek of it. Those who are lurking in the stream frequently will have seen it 20 times anyway. Because truth be told, I wrote most of it on stream, or part of it on stream anyway. Open that one. So you can see the guide. It's up and running. Promo away. Why do you think I mentioned it? It's currently 336 pages, 28,000 words. It's a sit-down read, but of course it's split into all the different professions. Going over in my usual formatting. I don't know why I've taken to this sort of color scheme. It's really garish, but I don't know. It once you've got something like that, you just got to roll with it, But yeah, literally everything you could ever possibly need to know about all the new materials, where all the one-time treasures are. Then it goes into each of the different professions itself, like full leveling paths for each of the professions and such. Info what to do from like 50 to 100, any tools and how to set up your tools and all that sort of stuff. So for the most part, it's as detailed as I could do on the beta one-man sort of thing. I don't proclaim it to be perfect. There's still holes in it. There are a few holes in it. I know as you get further down to, for example, the gathering professions are not quite as fully fleshed out as I would like them to be, but that's simply for the fact that I haven't spent 20 hours gathering on the beta, whereas I have spent 20 hours tinkering with all of the professions. But yeah, it's as detailed as I could possibly do without going insane. But yeah, it's there. It's available. It's up and running. Thesis written by Dr. Manthias confirmed. Well, I wanted to do, I had... A lot of people know I have like cheat sheets and spreadsheets and stuff, and I've always been tinkering in Excel and Google Sheets, doing bits and pieces. And for the War Within, I just wanted to level it up. I just wanted to, you got to go bigger and better every time, haven't you? If you're not going forward, you're going backwards, I think. So It was my efforts to be better than what it was in Dragonflight. And actually, it spawned from the fact that I made a couple of written guides for certain things during Dragonflight, like the Nax attunement process. I really enjoyed not only making that guide, but I also think a lot of people were able to like follow it step by step, and it was super helpful for them as well. And it counters an obvious problem that I have with videos, is that if I make a video and then 2 days later something changes, I have to redo that whole video, which I don't mind. It's like double the views, great, excellent. But anybody that then sees that, like, you know, it's not easily updatable. Whereas actual written content like that, I can just go into it. We can get a change log on the go, and it's significantly, you know, you can keep it up to date, which is something I can't do in video format. But that's that was a nice perk doing it in this fashion as well. And obviously, spreadsheets are good for crunching numbers, but spreadsheets aren't historically very good for explaining shit. So, it just made sense to do it this way this time. Does it include info on what recipes are possible to get guaranteed rank 3 on a per profession basis? Everything. It's easier for me to tell you which ones you can't guarantee at quality 3, because I'm actually trying to think of one you can't guarantee. This is where there's a significant difference between Dragonflight and The War Within. This time round, you can fundamentally get to the point where you can guarantee everything at top quality. There's none of this like, oh, you get 90% of the way and then it stops you. There has been a few things of that nature, but some of them have turned out to be bugs and have been hotfixed so that you now can guarantee them. I'm trying to think of something that you can't actually ever get at top quality. I think there was one flask. I think there was one flask that you could never actually guarantee. That always will require concentration, but equally I don't know if that's been hotfixed out. I've not looked at the professions for about 2 weeks at this point, because I've only just come back from vacation, so I don't have quite as clear a memory on it as I did previously. But
you have allowed the Shah to reawaken after all these years. If you truly wish to undo,
it's taken ages to put together. It's 400 hours of pissing around on the beta, and then however long it takes to like write it and format it and take screenshots and all of that. So it was a bit of a passion project for a good month or so. And like I said, my intentions is to keep it up to date. Keep it up to date with patches. You know, build upon it. So.
You have much to learn if you wish to defend your people from the Shah initiate. Stand aside for your fellow students.
This is why I chose to not straight up just put a price on it and actively sell it.
Now you will face,
because it's never going to be like finished, if that makes sense. It will kind of always be a work in progress. Mostly because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I will never be 100% happy with it. But secondly, I didn't want to build expectations into like, you've bought something and so it should, you know, do X, Y, and Z. Maybe I'm a bit scared of the commitment, I don't know.
As my master once said, you cannot truly know someone until you fight them.
Sorry, let me catch up with YouTube chat. I'm not leaving you behind, honestly. Do you know if you lose your Dragonflight Profession equipment if you equip Kazangar gear in its place? Well, it's like a normal piece of gear. You take one off and you put one on. You'll still, like, for the very rare occasion you'll craft something in Dragonflight, you'll still want your Dragonflight stuff, so maybe just throw them in the bank. You don't lose them.
one's martial strength. Let me show you what spiritual power is.
I would say that they're not particularly useful. The secondary stats on them, they've bumped the secondary stats for the War Within quite substantially, meaning that you will still make use of the secondary stats on your Dragonflight tools and profession gear. But the reality is it offers you like maybe 1%. It's not going to be anything. You're gonna look at updating them to the War Within profession gear like ASAP. Even if it's just upgrading them to like new green ones. I'm pretty sure even the new green tools give mostly in fact the new green tools are going to give substantially more secondary stats than Dragonflight blue ones. So for that purpose alone, you'll want to at least upgrade to the greens ASAP. Or you eventually upgrade to blues. Oh, hang on. I don't think Streamlabs is working. I don't think Streamlabs is alive for YouTube. It's linked in the description on YouTube. It's a gold perk by Patreon. Hang on, what's going on here? I've got about 20 different... going on here. There's the thing to click. There it is. Yeah, I suspect that today I'm going to mostly level alts, I think. Tomorrow, what day is it tomorrow? It's Tuesday tomorrow, isn't it? Did I not click on the thing? Tomorrow we'll probably take a look at this pre-patch event. Wednesday, because I suspect I'll get bored of the pre-patch very fast. By Wednesday, I reckon we can jump back on the beta. And I suspect we will live on the beta from there on out until the 19th. Obviously, 19th is going to be an interesting day. I wish, in fact, can anybody confirm or deny? Do we know any more about when our remix alts get out of purgatory? We know do we know anything more than we already knew? Is there an announcement that I might have slipped through my net? To my understanding, we still don't know any more other than we get access to them on the 19th. Dream Dead? We saved? 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 Saved. Okay. Why is it doing that then? Why is it doing that? That must have been a Twitch issue, you know? Because that didn't that's a Twitch issue because YouTube is still golden. I've not dropped a frame and it wasn't a my end thing. That was a Twitch side. That was a Twitch thing. Wow, it's literally reset my stream as well. Wow, full on reset the stream. New session and everything. Maybe Twitch had a boo-boo. See if this number up here changes anytime soon. What happens on the 19th? We get access to our remix character. Well, remix ends. Remix ends on the 19th. And that's the point to where we'll get access to all those level 70s. I'm intrigued to see what gear we're going to get. Haha. So now, obviously the 19th is very close to the 22nd, which is the launch. Only a 3-day difference. Meaning I might not have too much time to be messing around too much in retail, but I'm really hoping, super duper mega hoping, that once these remix characters come out of Panda Purgatory, I'm really hoping that they at least have a simple set of gear and they clear their bags, because otherwise I'm gonna cry. Some of my alts are gonna end up with horrendous bags if they don't clear them out. I would suspect that the characters are just gonna undergo a conversion. I hope that's the case, at least, anyway. I hope they just turn them into, level 70 pre-mades. As long as that happens, I'm good. I really don't want to have to spend an entire day just fixing 20, 30 alts, you know? It's going to feel icky. Prepatch event is a good way to level the alts. It's giving between 25 to 33% of a level per objective, not even counting the XP from killing the mobs. Yeah, I've seen, I was lurking in Zan's stream yesterday, watching him do a bunch of 60 to 70 leveling. Pretty quick. I've got a few characters that I need to do that on. Most people have stated that this pre-patch event is much better now. I still have not even touched it once, so I have no idea what's going on with the pre-patch event, but I'm led to believe that yes, it's pretty good for leveling alts. But today, it does not beat getting 4 level 70s every hour and a half to 2 hours. So I will utilize this free weekend for that purpose first. And hey, let's see how the next week or so goes and see whether I decide to spend 3 tokens on reactivating these other accounts. Maybe blast a few more level 70s before we get closer. Or Remix ends. I kind of feel that Remix right now is so powerful for leveling alts. It's one of those things that, well, without question, there has never been a faster way to level characters. Categorically, there's never been, short of swiping your credit card, there has never been a faster way of getting access to reasonable characters. What's a level 70 character boost these days cost? $60? Are they still $60? You get them on offer occasionally, 3 for 100. Fact that I'm getting 4 level 70 characters every 2 hours is mental source. And that's from 0, right? 0 to 70. Not 60 to 70, 0 to 70. I'm getting 4 characters every 2 hours. So an average of half an hour per character is mental. Now, if I wasn't on vacation, if I wasn't writing a goblin guide for the new expansion, I would have literally just capped my account, I think, honestly. It's going to be hell on earth getting them all to 80, but at least they're there. Right, some of my toons have dinged level 30 now, which means we run the risk of getting dog doo-doo Dungeons. Please give me good dungeons. Yes, this is a good dungeon. Scholarman's is actually the best dungeon because it's got 5 bosses in it.
Class is now in session. Class dismissed. I can never die.
I don't think it would be too bad to get them to 80 if they find another knockhood boost spot. I mean, yeah, boosters will do what boosters do, right? Where there's a market for it, somebody will figure shit out, right? I remember in the early days of Dragonflight, it was an hour to maybe an hour and a half via, oh my god, what's it called? Cobalt Assembly? In 10.0, I think you could get 70 to 80 via the Cobalt Assembly very efficiently. Demon Hunters were going bananas mode at one point before it all got nerfed, but I vaguely remember getting a couple of my characters boosted there to what was 70 back in the day. I think I spent like 80k per character or something. Pocket change. Literally nothing. The advantage of having all of your gold on a big server. I wonder what the boosting price... Like, oh, I tell you what, boosters must be having an absolute fucking field day these days, you know. Because they can take cash monies from literally anybody and just dump it straight in their war bank. Wow, boosters are going to be... Oh my god. I've just realised. Boosters are probably more excited about, because now one of the problems boosters always had was that they could boost people on their realm, but if they were boosting people on another realm, they had to have a character on that other realm that was the, you know, the piggy bank. They're still going to need that character on the piggy bank to act as piggy bank, but then that piggy bank can just deposit straight in their own war bank. Oh my god. Boosters go burr. Well, yeah, true. The cross-realm trading, I suppose, has been a thing for a while, but you know, simplifies the process. Even though it's against TOS, most boosters are finding their customers through boosting community discords. Yeah, it's true.
If you haven't come to school,
It's the shady side of the boosting.
class dismissed.
Level 31. About 6 more dungeons to go, maybe, and this set of tunes is going to be able to go brrr. I should maybe oh no! No! Told you we were run the risk of getting dumb flipping dungeons. This is the worst dungeon. Don't you have to run raids anymore? Nah. Get your dudes to... So maybe I should give a quick rundown of how this is working. Not that many can take advantage of it for much longer, unless you obviously pay for the accounts. Hang on, let me get to the boss where have to lurk, and then I'll showcase and talk for a minute. Zooms. I'm not happy about the fact that my PC is not able to stay at a stable 60 FPS, you know. I think it is my graphics card is just having a heart attack. Absolute heart attack. My CPU chilling. Memory, no problem. GPU on the other side of things. 8 gig of dedicated memory. Any sugar mummy want to buy me a new graphics card? This 3070 is not cutting it anymore. Really not cutting it. Can't be buying a new graphics card every year though. Starts to get quite expensive when I do that. 7.3 out of 8 gig dedicated. Yeah, it's definitely my bottleneck. Oh, no, wait, hang on, where have I gone? Have I gone too far? Oh? Shit, where, what? Hang on. Huh? Have I gone too far? Oh, this is what happens when I don't pay attention. Turn the settings down on the alt accounts, I think they are. Let's double check them. Yeah, they're all on 1 settings as it is. I can probably turn them down to max background of like 10. Because they don't actually need to do anything. Not sure if that'll help. They've got a background FPS of 30 right now, which needed. Whack it down to 8. Day. But even running 2 accounts, my graphics card seems to cap out its VRAM. Truth be told, 8 gig just doesn't cut it these days. Everything's too hungry. What's the price of something like a 4080 these days? Is it worth upgrading? Might treat myself for the new expansion. If that makes any difference whatsoever.
Thanks for the save, but we're still stuck in the middle of the entire Mantid army. Look out there.
Yeah, it's not made a blind bit of difference, has it?
I have a crazy idea that just might work, but we'll
Blind bit of difference.
Let's give these Mantid a taste of their own.
This isn't the first time I've seen you struggle with multiple programs. My entire system bottleneck is my graphics card. Absolutely. Without question. But this was something I kind of always knew. I always knew this was a problem. What mouse do I have? This is going to make you laugh. I have a Logitech G203. I have dog doo-doo mouse. I've bbeen on the search for a nice wireless mouse for some time. 4080 is around 1100 euros. That squeezes quite nicely under the 1200 euros tax bracket. Which means it could be a complete tax write-off. I could do with a nice tax write-off this year. Anything over 1200 euros and then it is subject to depreciation. Anything under 1200 euros can be written off in one go.
Amber Wing, get in there! Lay siege to the holdouts!
The Amber Wing is flying in. Watch out!
4080s are stubbornly stuck around 950 in the UK. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know if I said I'd skip the 40 series. When they first came out and they were gouging the shit out of people on price, I was like, I cannot support this. But the truth be told, my 3070 is not doing everything I need it to do these days.
Useless, damn you!
Just jump down. If I jump down, I can't ding the ding. I need to ding the gong. I need to dong the gong. I can stand here and pew pew.
Warriors, trample these weaklings, crush them!
Warrior coming in. Focus your fire.
1100 in Belgium, don't know prices in other countries. This is my unfortunate side of things. Living in Finland, I tend to live at the higher end of the pricing for these sorts of components. Get Razer Cortex. I am not putting a piece of Razer software on my computer, sorry. I know it can do that sort of fancy stuff, but it's a strong suggestion. I just don't like Razer stuff. It's more, I consider it bloatware more than anything else. G903 has been the mouse I've used for like 5+ years now. 2 of them though since I broke the other one. Did you accidentally play League of Legends at some point or something? Now we can hop down. Yeah, I do need a new mouse though. Well, it's one of those, right? I don't need it. My current mouse works absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. I'm not playing CSGO. I'm not playing like Twitch shooters. I'm not playing FPS games particularly. I don't need super high mouse accuracy. Which is why I've done with this mouse for years. My other PC has a Razer Death Adder from like 10 years ago. But that's the last and final Razer product I ever bought. Nvidia's gamer business is only like 5% of their revenue now. We've fallen down in the pecking order. Oh, I mean, that's been the case for a few years, clearly, hasn't it? You know full well that their focus is not on the gamer side of things anymore.
Let me see here. 30-second fuse.
I mean, on the basis of that, I have an AMD CPU already, and oh my god, with all of the news on that recently, am I happy that I've got an AMD CPU. 7900 XT is also another possibility. I could just go full Team Red. Now, the NVENC encoder is kind of useful because it's very well supported with OBS and, you know, video editing and that sort of stuff. But the reality is, it's just an absolute powerhouse of a graphics card. Might make up for that. I've recently switched OBS to my graphics card doesn't do the encoding for OBS anymore anyway.
Let's make sweet profit
I leave that in the hands of my CPU. No, do not go AMD GPU. Yeah, this is it. This is why competition is important. Appreciate the Prime, thank you. Game boosters and optimizers for Windows. Yeah, I'll have a little bit of a look at that. I'll have a read through, see if there's anything that stands out. Years ago is when the Death Adder was still a good product, right? Well, yeah, this was it. I had a Death Adder from back when they were a solid piece of kit, like before the Swifty Naga saga. My Death Adder mouse back from when Razer actually produced good stuff instead of cheap tat pedals now. X3D CPU best upgrade for WoW. Oh, for specifically for WoW, yeah. I mean, that's a really good gaming processor. I have the 7900X because I do more than just game on it. And as you can see, it's absolutely solid as a rock. Solid as a rock. Chilling at 5.2 gigahertz. Absolute chilling. Air cooled because I'm not about that water cooling life. I don't need that problems in my system. Nice Noctua air-cooled fan on it. Works a breeze. Admittedly, I do need to keep the air conditioning on to keep the room cool, but like the computer itself is chilling.
Let me make room for our guest. Approach your death. Let me show you my power. Come to me, serpent.
Which profession needs the most ults, do you think?
Destroy the
They're all somewhat about equal, honestly. We are still going to be in a situation where tailoring and alchemy will still have strict cooldowns, which puts them in prime candidate for alt armies. But the more you learn and the more you understand about how concentration is going to impact crafting, the more you'll realize that you can pretty much put any professions you like on your alt army. They'll all be useful. Your goal of your alt army is not to be able to press a certain button more often. It's just simply to extend the amount of concentration you have access to daily. More concentration equals more gold. It's a real simple formula this time around. I loved my grand strategy in factory games too. My 7800 X3D is amazing for that. Yeah, I'm a big Factorio fan. I like Factorio. I like Satisfactory. I have a partial to a bit of City Skylines, all of which are CPU monsters.
kind have wrought upon our land. You must first prove yourselves here in our school.
And with Factorio 2, sorry, not Factorio 2. Yes, Factorio 2.0, sorry, coming out October? Shit, I can't remember what day it comes out now. October 19th. Just in time for me to be burnt out from WoW. Ooh, can't wait.
From the Shah, you have much to learn if you wish to defend your
Don't you think the concentration limit is too low?
stand aside for your fellow.
Concentration limit seems to be balanced around allowing solo crafters to craft whatever they want whenever they want it,
Now you
and
will
use concentration to,
my most senior.
like, liberally. If you are just, you know, if you're leveling a profession to craft something for yourself, let's say you level blacksmithing because you're a tank and you want to craft your own shield, you'll never have any limitations with your concentration. So in that regard, it is more than sufficient.
Bested my
Yes, concentration becomes a factor. This was a big discussion actually in the Discord yesterday, talking about concentration and how it differs between gear crafting and like reagent crafting and consumable crafting. It's Blizzard do have the ability to twist different knobs to balance this. There's now like, I believe it's 10 different like bandings they have concentration, meaning they can assign a different concentration band to different recipes almost individually, meaning that they can tweak it and they can tune it to make it so that concentration feels like it goes far enough. But there's no doubt, early days there will be a shortage on some things because people won't be able to craft as much of them as they feel they want to. There's not going to be this, you know, buy 10,000 materials and press craft all and then walk away from the PC and come back an hour later to 10,000 potions. You're not going to be doing that anymore. Or you will, and you can, but you're not going to be able to do it at the price you might want to do it at, depending on how the markets play out. I'm really looking forward to the War Within, you know. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be so much more of a fair platform. I think it's creating the fair platform that they were aiming for with Dragonflight, but they just got it wrong because Inspiration was busted OP. And they had no way to, like, go in and fix it. It was a balancing issue that needed to be balanced out before everybody had their hands on it. As soon as the game went live, with Inspiration being like 45% OP as all hell, it broke things pretty quick. But in the War Within, concentration is going to be the bottleneck for you. And it's a really smart system, even though not everybody seems to be sold on it. Watcher's Loam Feat enchant is asking for 113 concentration right now. There'll be stuff like this. I can't imagine there'll be enough for people. It's not that there will always be stuff. Don't forget, there will always be stuff, because there will be players who will get to the point where they can guarantee things at quality 3. This is what I'm trying to explain to people and trying to. It's difficult to get this across without people seeing it for themselves. But the race, the goblin race, is to get to the point where you can guarantee things at quality 3. Price may not be in your favor, but you want to get to the point where you can press the button as many times as needed. Now, with commodity items, enchants, gems, flasks, potions, all of that good stuff, it's only going to take one person in the entire region to get to the point where they can guarantee quality 3 without the use of concentration, and then there'll be no shortage of that item ever. So, in that regards, there isn't a problem. What you as a crafter want to do is you want to get that threshold met. You want to get to the point where you can guarantee stuff. You want to try. It's really odd, right, that we have this new concentration system, and the thing you're actually trying to do, you're actively trying to eliminate it as a variable from your crafting. That's your highest and #1 goal as a crafter, is to get to the point where you don't have to be constrained by concentration. Now, you can do that quickly enough, you kind of have the market mostly to yourself. This is why people are putting some real sweaty strategies together to get to that point. But from an overall gameplay perspective, it means there'll never be a shortage of this stuff. Somebody out there will always be able to make those quality 3 things on demand. It just might, have a higher crafting price. But if there's a higher crafting price and the demand is there, there's going to be profit in it. And so it will happen. Anybody who isn't at the point where they can guarantee it with quality 3, anybody who can't guarantee it has the ability to still come along and produce a few using their concentration. But of course, yes, you may only be able to produce a handful every day. But that gives you the incentive to overcome the concentration problem.
What are they doing to our elementals?
And once you've got 100 skill in your base profession, once you've got your rare profession tools, then knowledge points is your next priority. Then you want to get as many knowledge points as you can get your hands on to push your skill, push your expertise in those certain crafts to the point where concentration is eliminated. Gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And it's a market that self-balances. This is why I keep saying concentration is incredibly clever. A lot of people are still looking at it with Dragonflight goggles on. They're using the Dragonflight, what happened in Dragonflight. They're using that information to base what they think will happen in the new expansion. But when you look at all of the pieces of the puzzle together, you start to quickly realize that whilst crafting looks the same as Dragonflight, it actually functions and the economy is going to work completely differently. Which means you can't necessarily use yesterday's rules to determine tomorrow's decisions. It's going to be fun. Give it another 18 months and City Skylines might end up being a good game, ironing out the kinks at glacial pace. Yeah, I really wanted Skylines 2 to be nice and fun. I'm super happy about the fact I didn't pay $100 for it. I'm super glad I got it on Game Pass. As then I didn't feel bad about playing it for 5 minutes and putting it down.
Will be sung once again.
It's looking like they're getting there. But it goes to show they absolutely released the game a year too early. You feel the profession racials will make a difference like they did in Dragonflight? They shouldn't. They shouldn't. On the basis that the only thing they will do, the luxury they will give you is short term. They will slightly reduce your concentration usage. But of course, as we've just mentioned, your ultimate goal is to remove the need to use concentration. So once you've done that, you know, there's nothing. Racials were only super impactful in Dragonflight because of how Blizzard designed things so that you could get like 90% of the way to guaranteeing something, but you couldn't cross the finish line. But somebody else with the right racial could come and get 95% of the way there and then land in hidden skill value and then actually have a much better, you know, hidden skill value plus inspiration plus racial basically meant that you produced twice as many quality 3s as somebody without the racial. It was a compounding problem, Dragonflight. It wasn't strictly the racials by themselves, but it was the racials in combination with the other sneaky systems in the game that meant that they were kind of like, if you had it, you won, and if you didn't, you lost, which was often a bit gross, but that shouldn't be the case. It's not constant racials, for reference, are not going to gatekeep you from being able to produce something. You'll still be able to produce it, you just might not be able to produce quite as many of them. But you'll eventually get to the point where it won't make any difference whatsoever because you can guarantee them all day long if you wish, which is nice. If racials give you any advantage, it will be a very short-term thing, is basically what I'm getting at here. Alright, well, we level 34. We're nearly ready for the big mailbox purge. Ah, sucks. Hey. Oh god, my voice is not going to survive. Might need more coffee. A spoonful of honey. Racking my brain if I wanted to race change or not. I wouldn't bother. My advice to people has been that if you're making, like, you're using remix to like level alts or something, there's no harm in having the racial. The racial will be a perk, I guess, is a nice way to look at it. If you can get it, great. It might, alleviate, might make the process a touch easier for you. But end game professions, I don't think racials will really matter. It won't be the difference between being able to do something and not being able to do something. So I absolutely wouldn't be spending money on it, let's put it that way. My goal making when Dragonflight came out was a catastrophe. Oh no. I used to make 15 to 20 mil in the first few weeks of expansions, but I was pretty unprepared. I'm scared the war within will be the same. Well, knowledge is king these days. And my number one piece of advice would be understand that the meta is changing.
We're still stuck in the middle.
I was also talking about this in the Discord yesterday, that going from Shadowlands into Dragonflight into the War Within, the meta has completely flipped on its head for goal making. Think back to Shadowlands, where you could take one character, put 2 legendary crafting professions on them, and that one character could just print gold for you. If you were able to level up that one toon's professions, get, like, let's say leatherworking and blacksmithing leveled up on one character, you could go to the moon with just that one toon. To Dragonflight, where we started to see alt armies sort of like being the way to utilize crafting professions at scale, to going into the War Within, where concentration is going to actually hard limit what people can do on that one character, and spreading wide is truly the way to go. It's kind of completely flipped on its head. This is why you have to be willing to adapt and change your methodology. And hence why I see so many people going into the War Within with their Dragonflight alt army, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'll be good. I'll just do tailoring and alchemy again. And I really, really hope for their sake that not everybody does exactly that, because if they do, there won't be any profit in it. And they'll be kicking themselves the fact that they didn't spec in a different direction or pick up different professions, because the market will be saturated, absolutely saturated with like bolts, and blasphemites may not necessarily be the gold maker that they first assumed. The meta's switching, spreading wide rather than going super narrow. Is more the focus for this coming expansion.
Leave nothing but a pile of ash.
Demolishers are carrying explosives. Any direct hit will blow them up.
Do what everybody else is not doing. Yeah, exactly. Like almost rule one of goal making. Find your own corner to sit in. If you do the same as everybody else, you'll achieve the same as everybody else.
Where is it? Worthless, useless, damn you!
Why my recommendation is pick up, you know, if you want to play with professions and you want to do some crafting, pick up whichever profession you like. Don't pick up the meta professions. Because if you're questioning which professions you should probably take, that means you're probably not as knowledgeable as some people are on them. And if people have already decided that these are the meta professions, you better believe that they are going to go ham. They're going to go full sweat mode on those individual professions. And if you just try and copy them, you'll just be behind. Pick a profession you enjoy, and just do it to the best of your ability. And the likelihood is that you'll be able to, you know, pick and choose something that not everybody else is doing. And you'll probably see a lot more success from that.
Where is it? Worthless, useless, damn you!
Oh, ding the dong, ding the dong, dong the ding, whatever.
Everyone, send everything! Slaughter these cowards!
What level of my alts now? 34. 3 more levels, I reckon. If we can get them to 37, I've never failed to ding level 70 once opening a mailbox after being level 37.
Those who fail deserve to die! You have merely called the weak!
Also, if you pick a profession for more than just profit, you're likely to stick with it. Well, that's also true, yeah. This is why so many people, I suggest, you know, if you play... I'm a hunter right now, so it makes sense to be a leather worker. You know, because it means that if at any point I need to craft a piece of gear, well, if I'm a leather worker, I can create my own gear. GG. That is a sense of utility that will mean you probably put more time and effort and focus on it. You're running around on a hunter and you've got description. Like, reality is what use are you going to have for that? Might not. Right, I'm out of coffee. My throat is killing me. Let me grab a drink, hang on.
Ah, this gate is locked. But I think I have something that will open it. Let me see here. 30-second fuse. Whoops.
Come on,
Did I say
30-second fuse.
I meant 3. Go. Hurry. You must stop the siege.
I'm an engineer, so the teleports are helpful. Try and find an opportunity for goal making on the side. Engineering, like, it still gets memed on, but honestly, these days it's not that much different to any other crafting profession. Obviously, there's been a bit of a 15 minutes of fame for the mount. Caused a few people to question the profitability there. It is true, they make a lot of profession tools as well. Profession tools are a solid direction to focus in, because you kind of can't go wrong. You may not necessarily see the same demand for profession tools as you would if you spec'd into like a meta piece of gear. But if you spec into profession tools, there's a strong chance that throughout the entire expansion you'll find customers for them. There's always people leveling professions. Whereas if you pick the meta piece of gear to craft today, what happens next patch when the meta changes? The meta for profession tools is simple. You always need them. They are significantly more important in this expansion. So anybody playing with professions is going to want their profession tools. There's no questions on that. Right, do not give me this stupid dungeon again, Blizzard. Keep our fingers crossed for a better one. Go on, give me a Scholarmance one. I'd love a Scholarmance. Scholarmance or Scarlet Monastery. Also stinky. Never lucky. Engineering would sell so much if the Engineer 1 was dropped. Yeah, that's always an odd one to me. You're right, it would see so much more love if that was the case.
The Shadow Pan. Let me make room.
Level 10 to 17 remix the other day took about 2 hours without any optimization. yeah, easily done now. Easily done with the new leveling curve. Much faster. Much faster. I mean, I'm doing 4 at a time. 4 at a time right now.
Charge me with your power.
Will be in demand. All the tailors are going to want their scissors. Yeah, yeah. Engineers are going to be, you know, there's definitely going to be demand for it for sure. There's no strictly bad profession. The closest I would say to a bad profession is inscription. Unfortunately, it's really lost its place. The active decision to take Darkmoon card crafting off scribes is hurt the profession's viability. You would often see inscription only really being an interesting profession for the first patch of an expansion anyway, because of Darkmoon card crafting. Dragonflight turned up, and a lot of people got caught out by the fact that whilst scribes made Darkmoon cards, they were ludicrously overpriced. An overpriced way of producing them relative to people fishing the damn things. This expansion, or the War Within, scribes don't make cards at all. Yet they've not had anything else in place.
You have much
In Dragonflight, they had the dragon riding customizations, which I don't think anybody really got rich off those, to be honest. But they don't even have anything of that nature this time round. Inscription's really lacking, truth be told.
where one falls, another will rise to take
Contracts are less interesting because reps a one-time thing, and most people will get it done in 2 weeks and then never think about it again. Missives are just something you need, but they're never expensive. Inscription rides or dies on the basis of whether the Dark Moon card's Abyss or not. It's been that way for a little while, ever since they took the focus off glyphs. Inscription's never really... It feels like they just kind of crowbar something into it so that it has at least something. You know, Vantus runes, for example. It's never... It's not it's not exciting, I guess, is the problem with Inscription. It's not exciting anymore. Enchanting's had the same problem, though, in my opinion. Enchanting's lost its place. It's stopped being... Well, I mean, I guess enchanting can be considered interesting if you've never done it before. But, you know, sure, everybody needs enchants. But there's never... Especially now that they've gone region-wide, there's never been any... I don't know. Maybe I've just seen it too many times at this point. Formula's never changed. I'm telling you, if they hadn't crowbarred in the enchanted crests for enchanting, it'd be a hella boring profession these days. Compared to like what they've done with alchemy and stuff, for example. the same amount of love clearly hasn't been shown to all the professions. I think it's time for a new profession, you know. We've not had a new profession for a while. A cheesemaker? Have to run a dairy farm of cows? Pour one out for archaeology. Too much babysitting on enchanting, with 5 gold vendor for posting fees start to add up. Yeah. Enchanting's not the powerhouse it once was either. Are you guys still getting a solid 60 FPS? Is that maybe why I'm not? Yeah. OBS has priority on everything. So maybe that's why I'm running at 40 FPS and you're getting, well, slightly higher. Do not value jewel crafting much either. Gems fall into the same category as enchants, but are even less useful. And well, jewel crafting at least has something else going for it. You know, jewel crafting at least has crafting of jewelry. That not. Plus, prospecting is its own mini game in and of itself. I mean, it's arguably not that far different from disenchanting. It's a maths game, and once you know the maths, you know the maths. But I still at least think that jewel crafting has got a lot more going for it. Enchanting's a one-trick pony. When that pony's only got 3 legs, it's not going to win any races. They tried to sellotape a 5th leg on that pony with the enchanted crests, but... Right, 36. I'm going to do one more dungeon. Get 37 on these ults, and then do a big old mailbox quad ding 70 session. One dungeon away. Please be a good dungeon. Don't be a shit one. Oh, perfect. of that. How long have I been streaming today? 2 hours, 26 minutes. So, yeah, in about 2 hours. Obviously, because I've taken breaks here and there, and I am never 100% optimal doing this. I could have shaved off half an hour easy if I just, you know, paying attention. 4 characters in 2 hours, I'll take it. Region-wide auction house destroyed some of the professions, sadly. I don't think the correlation is that strong. I see where you're coming from. I wouldn't strictly phrase it the same way, though. The marketplace changed. But I don't think that had much of an impact so much on the professions. I think it just sort of highlighted a problem which was that some servers were just vastly underrepresented for certain professions, and so you could make a profit on them. You know, people's opinion of professions is very, very closely linked to how much gold they can make from them. If you can make a lot of gold from them, then they get S tier rated pretty quickly, regardless of whether they're actually objectively good or not. You know, people think in script, you know, for the past few expansions, maybe not necessarily Dragonflight, but let's say the 4 or 5 before that, Inscription was god tier profession, best profession you could ever get your hands on for about 4 weeks, and then it was trash, and that's entirely based upon the amount of profit you could extract from it. The marketplace changed aggressively with the region-wide auction house, yes, but I don't think it really had too much of a negative effect on any of the professions. Just did the math on how many gold boosts cost me this expansion. It was a bit much, 2.9 million gold. Still up by 2.5 mil since the end of Shadowlands. You spent 2.9 million on getting boosts. Somewhere. The only thing I ever employ a booster for, the occasional leveling boost when I really can't be bothered. That's about it. Right, let's take this account. Let's see if you're good for an opening session. Should be. Here's some inventory space. I'm going to need it for threads in a second. XP calculation. Doesn't claim missing 6 tokens apparently. That will change when we get the XP threads. Give me some XP threads. You, one of you, one of you. Right. Says we're good. We're good. Retrieve XP. Incoming level 70. Two, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Oh, you are shitting me. Where did we get to? Oh my god. You are shitting me. Oh god. 69 and 99 tenths. Literally 99%. Damn you, son of a bitch. Alright, well, we need to do one more something on that dude. Back up there. We'll do a bonus dungeon in a minute. I wonder if that's going to be the same on all of them. It better not be. Right. Let's take you. Maybe this time I'll actually open all the threads and make sure I definitely get all the XP ones. Make sure we don't accidentally do that again. Bit of a whoopsie. Yeah, I can probably just go fly somewhere. Probably do it. If I need to do it on a couple of characters, though, we'll... Good. No more threads. XP calculation, good to go. Question is do I believe it? Go, let's find out. Watch this little number. $65, $66, $67, $68, $69, $70. Easy business. Whew, bless me. You back down there. Grab you. I don't really need to open these. I'm just getting them out of the way so we got a bit more inventory space. All right, threads, go. What are your threads to go? Keep clicking. There's probably a macro to like open these, but okay. Just saying. Yeah, good to go. Go. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oh, there we go. Woo coming in clutch. There's the macro button. Can you use multiple of them at the same time? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. I don't know. Or at least it doesn't work for me. No biggie. We at level 70. Dude's getting logged out in about 2 seconds anyway. Oh god. Oh god, I broke things. Oh god. Ah! Why'd it go so big? She said. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, this one. Try that macro again. It's got the right icon. / use on a new line. Oh. Oh shit. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to assume that's an 8 on the end. Whoops. No. I don't know. Whatever. Take me that long. The reality is I'm not going to do this many more times anyway. That is unless I get super obsessed with leveling alts, which I don't think I will. I want to go do the pre-patch event. I also want to take full advantage of this free weekend. Having access to these accounts that I wouldn't normally. There's no rep grind for Artisans Consortium. Not that we're aware of. And I phrase it that way only because I hope that's true. I hope there isn't any. They've done some weird things with the Artisans Consortium, though, on the beta builds. There was at one point where your Dragonflight reputation mattered, and they hotfixed that out. And I suspect that they were going to add like a new Khazalgar branch of it, but they haven't. So, not sure exactly what's been going on with that, really, we'd be told, but... Right, which was the dude that didn't hit level 70? You. For some reason you didn't hit level 70. Let's go fly somewhere. Go. Boom. Spam dungeons until level 40, loot nothing, then start looting threads and click the XP ones and then loot after. Yeah, roughly. I tend to stop at 37, and you're usually good at 37. Whoa, what happened here? 37 is usually enough. Yeah, level 70, item level 21. Never equipped a single piece of gear. Oh god, I hope these get a free set of gear. Log out, you're done. God, I hope they get a free set of gear. Alright, that's another set of tunes done. Beautiful. What was the add-on I was using for mailing mail loot? Remix Mail Helper? Remix Mail Helper. Power leveling in Pandaria, I'd advise using Tomcat Tours for tracking the XP in the mailbox. And the no bonus XP to loot from the boss is everything but the XP. With no bonus XP, you don't need to go to the mailbox until you're ready to boost to 70. Yeah, if you're doing it on a single character, that makes sense. My 4 alts are just literally lurking at the dungeon entrance. They're not looting anything ever. Is the Goblin Guide a one-time purchase, or do I lose access after I unsubscribe to your Patreon? Well, I've been somewhat coy about that on the basis of the fact that in its current form, it's a Google Doc. So once you've got the link to the Google Doc, you're good, right? What you will lose access to is the channels in the Discord. So you won't be able to provide feedback. You may not necessarily be able to see any updates and changes, that sort of stuff. But you'll still have the link and still be able to view the document. Now, the reason I've not strictly said you'll get lifetime updates for it is because there might come a point where it being a Google Doc is a limitation, and it might end up being converted into something else in the future, maybe a PDF or something like that, if formatting and that sort of stuff becomes an issue. But in the context of it being a Google document, once you've got the link, you've got the link. I have no direct plans to change it from that. But I equally, yeah, that's about as detailed as I can be on that. My hope, right? Okay, there's one risk here. There's an inherent risk of it being a Google document, and that is that the link just gets shared, right? If the link gets publicly shared, the only thing I can then do change the link. Which I'm just hoping won't happen. Yeah, this is why it is a perk of my Patreon and not a product that I'm directly selling. Okay. Have full 100% access to it, changelog, any updates and stuff for as long as you are a Patreon. That's kind of the concept there. That's not me being obtuse deliberately. It's just, it is what it is. Right, now I need to clear out this dude of all the random trash he'll have picked up. Get him ready to go do another set of runs. I've actually made a reasonable amount of bronze even on this main dude just running all these heroic dungeons, Nobody's talking about fishing. Is it because it's just more bare bones dragonflight fishing? I haven't spoke about fishing because I haven't done any fishing, is the truth be told. What I would say, though, is that fishing is actually quite different in the War Within from what I'm led to believe. I just haven't got, fishing is so far down my priority list. I just hadn't got there. it's one of those things that, you know, you have to sit there and just do it a bunch. Fishing on the beta just seems like the definition of madness to me. Which is why I haven't put much focus on it. Fishing, weirdly, the reason that people might be attracted to fishing going into the new expansion is on the basis that the Dark Moon cards can come from fishing, which is what will make some people intrigued by it. Gaining the fish and selling the fish and gold making from the fish is to be confirmed. Like, you know, it entirely goes then, you know, it pairs with cooking. If it becomes useful to you, it becomes useful to you, but it's the access to Dark Moon cards that will intrigue people, at least early. But that's not a big enough of an attraction for me to have spent 20 hours fishing on the beta. I will designate some time to it though soon. I promise. I promise. Don't forget to use your warband map to everywhere in your toy box for the extra bronze. I don't think I need bronze for anything. I've got hundreds of thousands of bronze on all of these alts. I've got 40k bronze on about... I could quickly and easily get access to about 1 million bronze if I needed it. I don't think I have really much use for bronze. Well, I've not bothered. But that's a cool... that warband mapped everywhere is a cool little trick for, like, what's it, 3,000 bronze per character or something? All adds up. Got on a bit of a spree and leveled 11 characters in Remix. Yeah, I mean, combined, I've leveled... What's that now? I think I've leveled 20 Remix characters in the last couple of days. Like, the only downside is that they're spread across accounts, not on all one single, but... Get all of these converted. Nuke everything. Is Easy Scrap fixed yet, by the way, for people? I tried to do an update for Easy Scrap and it was still broken. Bit annoying. Check my Twitch dashboard quickly while I'm doing this. Oh, I've not missed any subs. Too bad. Oh, so many goddamn gems. I'm only doing this to keep his inventory relatively tidy. I don't particularly need the bronze, but once I get something neat and tidy and organised, I'm a bit of a stickler about keeping it that way. Warband Bank works across accounts, but is still region locked. Is that correct? Region, yeah. It's one. Your NA and your EU accounts are still entirely separate. If you have NA and EU accounts, that is. Yeah, there's still absolutely zero ties between Team NA and Team EU. That, in my opinion, is the only hurdle they need to cross nowadays, really. They've pretty much diluted server identity down to basically nothing at this point. Yeah, the only remaining outlier for some people is that they can't play with, if you know, you can only play with your EU or your NA friends at once. I don't think that's ever going to change, though, to be honest. I think it's too deeply embedded for them to really change that. I don't understand why you can't get mats from the Warbank for patron crafting orders. Any idea why this is the case? There's a lot of weird things with the Warbank that seem to me to be... what's the right word for this? I think they've gone the route of making it so that the warband works. I think quite many compromises have had to be made with the Warbank just to get it to a functioning state for the launch of the expansion. It worries me for the long term of it, because Blizzard historically are not great at iterating on these things. They tend to get it to a point where they launch it, and then it mostly stays the same forever. Their iteration on systems is usually not great, or at least not reliable. But they do claim that Warbanks are an evergreen feature, and that they're here to stay. So there's part of me that says that they might make these updates and changes so that things like work orders can pull materials from them. But I'm honestly, with how the Warband bank launched, I'm somewhat surprised it's up and running even now. I was kind of half suspecting they might just, you know, put a hard block on it for a while until they can get it, you know, functional. But they've clearly done enough to be able to get it working. But it's definitely not everything everybody would like it to be yet. It was, you know, warbands, and of course the warband bank was a box feature for the expansion, though. This kind of means that they had no choice but to absolutely make sure something of it worked going into the expansion, even if its functionality is limited. The hope is that they iterate and they improve upon, they fix some of these quirks so that it is a fluid, you know, nicely rounded off system that people want it to be. The single account limitation feels really odd to me, but once again, that's a compromise that to make it fluid and to make it seamlessly work between different accounts, there's probably a lot more that goes into that than just, you know, a few lines of code. And I would say it's probably better. It's better to have a system that's basic and not broken and not exploitable than it is to have a fully fledged system that's got holes in it. We don't really have either as of right now, but it's cool it exists. What's the best rogue spec? No clue. I have not played a rogue in ever. Literally ever. Aha. About 1 million threads. Okay. Let's get clicking. Oh, I've just realised that little macro doodah. That little macro doodah is going to be useful for these ones, isn't it? Because they're the item IDs for the epic ones. That's probably why my little macro wasn't working. Oh, do I still have it in the... Aha, I do. Yes, there we go. It's because it's the item IDs for the epic ones. Oh, spam the threads. Does it not have the item ID for the stamina one? Seems to do some of them, but not all of them. Maybe I missed a line off it or something. Always feels like content's launched 6 months early, if you ask me. It's... Well, I mean, this has been a growing issue with World of Warcraft and Blizzard in general. They're a much bigger company nowadays. They're more stricken to... They're more... They have deadlines that are stronger and less maneuverable than they ever have been before. Ultimately meaning that, yeah, sometimes... Oh, it can only do the stamina ones one at a time. That's interesting. Oh, each button press is literally... Ah, yeah, okay, I see. Hey, I've just crossed the 100,000 stamina mark. On my little dude. 100,068. Oh, I don't have Narcissus on for total thread count, but that's quite many threads. Okay, I've just noticed ads are in progress anyway, which means I'm going to take this opportunity to take a very quick bathroom break, and then we'll decide what we do. I might play catch up on the news for half an hour to an hour for the end of the stream as well. Give me 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'll be back in 2.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Oh, dropped to prime literally 2 seconds after I stood up. Appreciate that. Thank you. What's up, boys and girls? Hi. I'm certainly not going to be able to stream for too much longer today. My OBS says I've been live for 3 hours already. Twitch dashboard probably says different, but that's because Twitch did stupid things earlier. Which basically means I don't think I've got time to start a whole new second swing of remix alts. So let's maybe log this dude out. Do I take a little bit of a look at this pre-patch event, since I've not done anything of it at all? Means I can actually save on some system resources a little bit here and close some WoW accounts in the background. Don't strictly need all of these open at the same time now. Let's fix these real quick. Let's put those to the top. Let's close You. Hello, hello, hello. How do people do that? I've never figured out how people do that. The raid of 1. Thank you very much. Welcome in. The event is now nuts. You can go from 60 to 70 in roughly half an hour. Well, looking at this account, right? ignoring these guys that are just here for a bit of a meme. I don't have too many characters. These are all my remix tunes. I don't have too many characters that I need to actually level up. Do we go take a little bit of a look on? This is level 62. Could 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because of course these are all my flipping other realm level 60s. But yeah, there is actually quite a few characters I could get leveled up technically. Maybe let's go and have a little poke around. Is there anything good at the trading post? I'm 5 days into the month and I've not looked at the trading post. Is there literally anything on the trading post this month? Hang on. Squirrels are kicking in hard. Let me close down. I've also got 3 level 60 boosts that I should probably just use, shouldn't I really? Let's be real. Let's close these accounts. Save those system resources. Nothing good, of course. You do pre-patch, you'll max out your trading post in about an hour. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I tell you what. I'll go and have a poke around with it on my main dude. Go and have a little poke around on the main dude just to see what's what. I'm sure you guys will point me in the right direction of what the hell we're doing. I don't know diddly squat about this pre-patch event, you know. I've paid no attention to it whatsoever. Bad. I'm meant to be the content creator here. Look then, shall we? Frames. Give me some frames. Oh god, the lag. Good. We're live. 20 FPS in Valdraken. What's going on here? Hello? 30 FPS, 40 FPS. 50 FPS. There's ATT and all sorts, TSM and all sorts of stuff doing stuff in the background. Why can't I get 60 FPS? Oh, I don't know. Whatever. All the things is murdering WoW, clearly. Well, we can close you. We can close you. Do we not have a quest for this? Identity crisis, is that it? Why do I not have a quest for this? The event's quite different from its initial design. Travel through time to another point in Dustwallow Marsh's history. Hang on. Where's this question mark at? Oh, no, not you. Not you. Go away. Get off my map. Quest. You need to finish the Harbinger quest to do the pre-patch event. Oh, really? Oh, dear. Okay. This one? Meet Khadgar and Illyria in the chamber of the Guardian in Dalaran. Boom. Go. Wait, hang on. Where's all my add-ons gone? Oh no! Have I been a donkey and I've... oh, flipping Lord have mercy. I've gone and foobarred my add-on list. Okay, hang on. Hang on. What am I going to be missing that I really want? Can I mog it? Yes. We don't have details. People cry. What else am I missing? A bit handy notes, a bit Dragonflight. Do I need Narcissus? Probably not. Paste, Pawn, Peddler. No, none of that business. Platter, sure. Postal, yes. A rare scanner is probably going to be helpful for this anyway, isn't it? Tom-Tom's always handy. World Quest Tracker. Is it World Quest Tracker or World Quest List? I never remember which one they'll do. No, I didn't save a template either. I even have the stupid add-on to do that, and I forget to do it every time. Usually I don't play around with my add-ons too often, but jumping in between remix and stuff is... yeah. You down there, because you're only there for a meme. Down there as well. Can I have some frames, please, game? Pink elephants. Right, let's go.
Ours is a solemn burden.
Wait, where the hell are we going?
Aspects watch over you.
Take the portal from Valdrakken to Orgrimmar. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how to play the game properly, shall we? Take the portal from Orgrimmar to Dalaran. Which one's the one to Dalaran? Orobos, Azuna, Zoldazar, Jade Forest. Downstairs, maybe? Was it this? Oh, no, shit. Which Dalaran? Which Dalaran? There's a Dalaran one next to the inn. Oh, it's the Legion one, so just use the toy. Oh, well, I'm right next to the portal. I'll take the portal. I might need to go back there. I love this bear. It's a really cool mount, you know. Here we go, here we go. Where are you at?
Khadgar said you would come. I thought it best to wait for you.
How very
What
kind of you.
news?
Yep, cutscene's great.
Ah, good to see you.
I'll open a rift for us. Follow me.
Follow in, follow in, follow in. Wow, I'm gaining guild reputation. That's not something I've had for a while. Oh, that's a good point. Well reminded me. No refunds is officially open, by the way. Roster. Applicants. In you come. Oh, that was me. Haha. Yeah, Manthe, e.g. me, is the guild master. Anybody in the guild should have the ability to invite. So if you see somebody online in the guild, or send an application through to the guild, or whisper me.
Head through when you're ready.
I would prefer if you just, you know, send them through the applicants thing. It just makes it easier. Guild is now open. Hopefully, we'll focus on this a little bit more soon. But the plan for the guild is to try and get a bit of a crafting guild on the go. Following missions are for lower level adventurers. Well, not me then. Use the Void Rift to enter. Void Rift? No, that's the portal back to Dalaran. Hello? Wow, so confused. Didn't read what we're doing. A crafting guild or a Mantheus Tall Simp army. Well, whichever. Whichever. Your choice. Where did Illyria go?
Only by working together can
What's
we
this?
succeed.
3k residuals. Defeat the remembered Lich King during a Radiant Echoes event. Sure, we'll give that a go.
Draws near.
Right, Zygor, you're just actually confusing me at this point. Go away. Do I just pick one? Is there one that's better than the others? Pick up any of these? Right, let's go and explore what's going on over here. Oh, you went in the wrong portal in Dalaran? Did I? Okay, maybe that's why it was telling me to go back. Use the purple portal? No, what I did? Big hooning great big purple portal in the middle. This is what happens when I don't pay attention to what's going on.
Have the Rendori noticed any void disturbances lately?
Yeah, good.
The Riftwalkers just returned from their investigations.
Gather reports.
The Rendori shall
Cracks
prove
in the
our
void. Close some rifts. Alright, we can do that.
There's something else. A vision is being seen all across Azeroth. They call it the Radiant Song.
Interesting.
That's the Harbinger quest line. Get out. So I haven't done this before. Somebody said I needed to do this. Worth doing either way. You forget I've literally not logged online since the pre-patch launched. So I've not done any of this.
Activity within Aberys. We are still unsure what caused the surge. All quiet now, though.
Once per account only. It's August 2024. Haven't you done it yet? No, no. I've been away for literally since pre-patch launched. Stretchy, stretchy. Snap. I'm definitely playing catch-up.
We fight for a new... I investigated void incursions along the southern coast. But any sign of battle had not much to report, I'm afraid. I sensed activity to the north of the continent, but the trail went cold near Zulamar.
Another stretchy, stretchy.
Troubling.
Oh, wait, what? You pewed. Ah, I thought that was going to be a cheat code, and it's not. Go.
Baladash Malanore.
Rifts closed. Check. People spoke to. Check. Meet Illyria at Galakron's Rest in Dragonblight.
The Rift
Or
Walker's absence.
yes, there we
Could it
go.
be connected to the Dark Heart?
Didn't miss much.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
Well,
Farewell.
in all honesty,
The shadows
from
can
what
be
I
an
saw
ally.
somewhat remotely of
This
Prepatch,
is where
I'm
a
kind of
Rivercrawler
glad that I
empowered
wasn't
the Dark
too
Heart.
vested in it,
That was
because
millennia ago.
it looked like it didn't go smoothly.
there be
But
void
Prepatches
activity
never
here?
do. That's kind of the reason they exist in the first place. Get the bugs out the way, get them gone, get the
Tracks.
get it
They
working
never
nice and
lead to our
smoothly
Rift
for the
Walker.
launch.
Let's follow them.
Real live testing phase. I mean, it's called Prepatch for a reason.
Galakrond was consumed by a never-ending hunger.
Oozed.
The same hunger was used to empower the Dark Heart.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. No, my buttons are... Oh. Oh. You know what I haven't done? I haven't even set up new hunter talents. Whoops. I've literally done nothing. I must have just pressed starter build to just do something.
Followed by a period of calm.
Suddenly realised all my buttons are wrong. I'm not changing that now. Plus, anything that even was prior to Prepatch, I probably haven't done. I played Season 4 for about 2 days, and then Beta turned up, and I was like, see ya! I'm out of here. Till I turned 100% devotion to the Beta, at least until the point I was happy with where the guide was. Now we've got a little bit more flexibility, and a little bit more time to...
Wait, I sense something. Is it
do a few
Ulduar?
different things.
I'll scout ahead. Meet me there.
Rather have stuff hitting the fan now than and then having launch. Well, exactly. That's the entire concept of the pre-patch. Being that you want to get the chaos out of the way nice and fast. Wait, what? Why is Gates of Ulduar? I was going to say, why did it tell me to go here? Miles off where we need to go. What's the thing I'm most looking forward to in the War Within? It's a real generic answer, but it's a new reset to the economy and an opportunity to play with crafting professions and have them useful again. Gameplay-wise, I'm likely to mostly do a similar playstyle to what I've done previously, which is just play around and tinker with world content mostly. Might look at gearing a toon or two up, but endgame hasn't super grabbed me. You know, a new raid, cool. A new set of dungeons to play with, cool. But none of that's like super duper mega grabbed me. We're putting the guild together though for the War Within now that cross realm guilds have come about, which means we might be able to do a few more endgamey stuff. But the focus of the guild is like Crafters Guild. We're gonna get. I want it to be the richest guild in the game, and with that is going to come some more craftery focused stuff. So that, you know, crafters get paid fairly. Blizzard have unionized. So this Crafters Guild is going to unionize. Fair pay for all. No 500 gold tips. We'll see if we can enforce that though, shall we? Might go horribly wrong. Is there an easy way to get your own toons invited for solo guilds, cross realms? Can you not list your guild in the guild finder and then request access to it on your alts and then log back onto your main and let yourself in? That not how you do it these days? I must admit I'm not overly savvy in that.
My honored guests. That voice.
Still only searchable on the realm your alt is on. Oh, is that what it is? I don't think cross-realm search is on yet. Ah, in that case, I don't know. Trial characters, second accounts, I don't know. Trial characters can't be parts of guilds, can they? I don't know. It might be an option, I'm not sure.
Shadows have taken her. Defend yourself.
Travel to the conservatory. Best bets make a friend. Definitely helps.
This is Eridath. Aim true. Why show me these memories? What is the Harbinger's plan?
Does the realm... Does the list realm name next to the guild name? What? Hang on. Oh, yeah. The warband list, the character list, is still quite confusing. If you happen to have named all of your characters the same thing, just on different realms, you are in for a bad time right now. Like I have probably 4 Manthiuses, for example, but I know some people have used the same character name on like 20 different realms, and telling the difference between them is borderline impossible. That has been reported to Blizzard directly by many people. They have heard feedback. I don't know what they're going to do to fix it though, mind.
It is a good day for a hunt. We do what we must for those we love.
Sure they'll end up doing something, because it's a bit of a tricky situation, to be honest. So stupid you can't search by realm in the character screen. Yeah, it's so odd. It's so odd. You can search by some weird and wacky things, but realm isn't one of them. Like, how did that slip through the net? How did that not? How did somebody not think, you know what would be a really useful thing to search by would be the realm? Not sure. I know it's cynical Manthius mode again, but it's another one of those kind of like compromises that I suspect have to have happened just to get it to a launch ready state. I kind of I mean, the war bans in general, clearly an evergreen piece of content, clearly a foundational level system that's here to stay for more than just the war within. So that's the only saving grace for me. It means that they are more likely to fix these weird things. It's not just an expansion level feature that they'll launch it and then leave it. I hope. I really hope. I'm also not a big fan of the 4 favorites thing. Honestly. Like, if it... you guys might have seen, I've just memed mine up with 4 characters that I never planned to play.
Your greatest regret.
A lot of I know people don't like change. People are naturally adverse to change. So anytime somebody changes, it's going to be obvious to go, "Ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. Change it back." But we might get used to it. But I would kind of agree. If you are somebody that's had lots of characters and had them spread around lots of realms, navigation now is not good.
We must follow him.
It's definitely a nerf to usability for a lot of players. You can remove the favorites list. You just take all 4 characters out of it, and then it goes back to the old style of like just one character showed at a time. But you still can't. It's still got all of those characters in the list, which is annoying. It appears it's empty every login though. Oh, does it? Okay. I hadn't actually tried that.
Find no mercy in my domain.
Need to employ the narcissist guy. Agreed. Peter Yu. He's a UI wizard. The fact that Blizzard haven't given him a briefcase of cash to come work for them by this point is a mystery to me. They need him to deal with all of it, if I'm honest. Even the war bank, it was pointed out the other day, and I totally agree, that the war bank doesn't make any sense, that you've got tabs to it when you go and put something in the war bank and you can't directly choose which tab it goes in. It's like, there's lots of little UI type stuff that just doesn't make sense. But this is because I think that it was designed in Photoshop and then implemented, and then the features and functionality was layered on top of it. And there's a lack of synergy there. Like, this is what happens when, you know, too many chefs. You know, somebody was responsible for the functionality of it. Somebody, well, not even somebody, some team. Some team was responsible for one aspect. Another team was responsible for another part of it. And there's not been that sort of like final polish to say, does this actually, you know, work as a whole? The only question there is like, does it actually work? Yes or no? If the answer's no, then turn it off. If it does work, turn it on. You know, that's really the minimum viable product aspect of the war bank at the moment. You already have millions of little disjointed pieces of UI in WoW. Even the narcissist guy would have a horrible time trying to make everything look good as a unit. It's true. True. Because WoW's a big ship. It's a huge ship. You know, there's so much to this game now that if you want to change the font of something, you then want to change the font of something everywhere. That's a team of people's job for like many build hours would go into something just as simple as changing a font somewhere. Which means when you want to make sweeping UI changes to standardize it everywhere, it's a hell of a task in a game that's like this big these days. Yes, I said ship with a P. Yes. Right, where do we turn this in? Where are we going to? All the way over there. How do we get over there? How do we get over there? This way? No. Maybe it is this one. Fly to the next one. It's easy to make one little window look good and feel good, but it's hard to make it look and feel good, also not like it belongs in another game. Well, yeah, even with this pre-patch, there's quite many UI changes. Like this, for some reason, I don't know why this is like 12 times the size it needs to be. Like, shit, okay, there's your options menu. Little things, you know, they've tidied up and high definitionized and shrunk things, but then, you know, the scaling is all out of whack between different elements. They're working on a fix for the menu size. Oh yeah, they're not unaware of all of this stuff. They entirely know it's a thing. But you know, like I said, they're a big ship to get it pointing in a different direction, to get everything aligned perfectly. Takes time. I like the bigger menu. That's because you're old, Jack. It means you can see it.
Our true quarry is ahead.
That's all that is.
Vision of Terralion.
Lyria's bow. Nice.
Farewell.
I actually have genuinely no idea how old you are. I forget how old I am half the time, so...
This is what you chose over the light? Over your family? How pitiful.
21?
Do not speak with his voice, abomination.
Sure.
End me, Illyria. Has the void not given you the strength?
Mentally or physically?
I can't do it. Illyria, I see your weak heart.
Alright, one day somebody invents the technology to resize windows of menus.
Begone from
I think the full overhaul add-on. Why have I got all these gems in my bag?
Very well.
Oh, I know why I've got all of these. I prospected a bunch of gems for the purpose of a video that I then never made or released. I remember why now. Please ignore that they're there.
We each walk a line. Choose yours.
Void touched set, apparently. Nice. Take it.
Fascinating. Simply fascinating.
Yeah, cool.
It's best if I leave. I'm a danger to you all, so long as Zalatath's gaze is cast upon me.
We're all 21, just some of us have more experience than others. Some of us have been 21 a few times. Is it only scribes that can find Darkmoon cards? Then wouldn't 2x4 bots just farm them out really fast with Taylor inscription? I mean, bots will always do bot things. Bots will do bot things. It is true that, you know, 2x4 farming will be a thing, but like with anything, if you are botting, you are bad. Like... I like the fact that Blizzard are not so blind to the fact that bots exist. I mean, most of us would agree that we don't necessarily always think that Blizzard do the best job with the bots in general. But I also don't ever want to get to a point where Blizzard designs the game around the fact that bots exist. They design the game in a way that is detrimental because they know that bots are going to do bot things. I'd much rather they make a solid game and just ban the bots. But that's sometimes easier said than done.
It's all connected to the Radiant Song. It has to be.
Lucas Walker said the Ethereals heard a similar
Don't be cruel, bots pay a sub too. Oh no.
Azeroth herself, the one in danger? Is she
the ancient recipe plans, are they easy to get? Or should I buy them? I only want them to get the Mog. Well, if you were farming, what was it? Zulaman? No, which one was it? They were relatively easy to get whilst they were considered current and people were actively doing it. These days, though, I don't know how easy they are technically to get. There was quite some RNG in getting the ancient ones. Zulaman, the Scholomance, and the Nax ones. I've got most of them because I got them when they were current, but now that it's not strictly in the public eye, I don't know. I can't quite remember how easy they were to farm for. Yeah, I don't have a solid answer for you on that one, unfortunately. It's one of those that it's actually interesting. I do wonder long term how profitable Nax will remain. Simply by the fact that Tier 3 as a set is still an iconic set. I suspect that there will still be a lot of demand for the Mog. I'm not really sure. Beat remembered echoes for 3k residuals, okay. You just then fly over and do stuff. Nax and Skolo require more wiggling around. You have to do the quest lines first. Yeah, as long as you've done the attunement for Nax, you should be fine. It's difficult, you know. It's one of those that kind of feels like it was a cool little piece of content when it was current. I don't know if it's going to have any life long term though. You know, the Mogs from there, for example, were quite valuable for a little while as well, but that was because it was kind of in the public eye. I do think there'll be good recipes to have obtained, though. If any crafted transmog is likely to hold its value, I would say that stuff might do better. Quite many bits of it were unique as well, I remember. Wow, this is a horrible zone because of the pissing trees. I don't even know what I'm meant to be doing here. Willing the Quellbore? The lamented piece prices have been pretty static. Are they still like 75 to 100k a piece, roughly? I vaguely remember that. I think I did napkin maths on that, and I was like, they're probably never going to get cheaper than that, particularly based upon the effort you need to put in to get one. Question for Mog traders. Has anybody seen a big uptick in sales since the patch? So easy to flip between realms, looking for unlearned stuff, and just transferring gold as required. I think it might, you know, I think there might be... People are clearly thinking about their Mog, but I think the big uptick will probably happen once the War Within launches. Just mostly because... Prepatch is for the people that consistently play the game and are planning on coming back, sort of thing. But the big influx of players is when the expansion goes live. And because this warband and Mog system is a thing, is an expansion level feature, I think it might draw quite much more attention to it in the early days of the War Within. So you don't like the Warband Bank at all? I've got nothing against the Warband Bank, it's just not as flexible as I'd have liked it to have been. Honestly.
No time for nostalgia, champion.
Beat the memory of King Gordok, alright. You peer his ass. Warbank is too small and way too expensive. I do agree that 2.5 mil for that last tab is mental sauce. Like, whoever cooked up the idea to charge 2.5 mil for a single bank tab is... I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, even being a big sweaty goblin with more gold than I care for, like, I am like, even I am like, nah, that's ridiculous money. Single bank tab. Can't get my head around why they decided to settle on 2.5 million gold for one bank tab.
These echoes must be contained.
Bring as many crystals as you can to the pylons. There's never a scenario where that 2.5 mil is gonna like pay itself back. No shot. It's just a straight up. It's the pure definition of a gold sink. I'll buy it because, you know, I'm a content creator and I got a shitload of gold. But even now, right? I've bought the first 4. I bought the first 4, and I was like, you know what? That'll do me. I don't need this 5th one. Like, I could, but I'm like, why? Like, honestly, I'm like, why? Even buy the 4th, fuck that. I don't know what I'm going to use the war bank for, you know. This is because there were a couple of things I want to use it for. I either want to use it to get deep into cross-realm trading. But if I use it to get deep into cross-realm trading, that's going to limit the other option I was going to use it for, which is stuffing it full of materials for, you know, many alt army crafting sort of thing. A universal storage space for everything. So I can't really decide. I don't really know what I'm going to use it for. And I also agree, it's not really big enough to do either properly. 11.0, it'll probably just, I'll throw all my materials and stuff in there. And then, you know, my bank character, I can log out of my main, my bank character can log on. Which is another slight frustration of it, me, for that purpose, is that I have a separate account that does all my auctioning stuff. If I have to log off one account to give access to my other account, it sort of defeats the object of having 2 accounts. And it's like, That's a real frustration for me that you can't have access. You know, it locks you out of one when you're on another. Oh, haha, that's my bank. Oh yeah, there is one thing in my bank, by the way. It's a captured June scavenger. The only thing I have in my bank. I was testing out the unique thing. There's some odd interactivity with unique items. I know I haven't paid any flipping attention to this whatsoever, but what the Christ are we meant to be doing with this event? I haven't. I need to. Does Mr. GM have a guide on this? Where's Dan when I need him? I ain't got a flipping clue what I'm meant to be doing with this. $18 seconds remaining. Go and do the mini events, draining the bar to 0. Check events with named mobs. Get the bar to 0 by doing the spawn. Then the boss spawns, kill boss. Okay. Sorry, I am bouncing my eyes between the 2 chats, but I'm not reading either chat particularly well at the moment. Farming the event's efficient for alts as well. Got a fresh character to 62 in a day or so just farming this. Everything is transferable in and end up with 480 item level gear. I'm mostly going to utilize... I'm just figuring shit out on my main character here right now, but I'll probably utilize this for that exact purpose. Getting those stray level 60s up to level 70. I'm only at 80% brain capacity full stop today, which is why I clearly can't multitask. Don't bother with the small mob spots. Check the map. Always try and go for the big elite boss spots. That's where most people end up going. Okay. 80 euros for a bank tab if you think about it. I mean, 2.5 mil is a ludicrous amount. That's what, 5 tokens or something? More than, I don't know. It's a shitload. It's ridiculous. With the guild bank, you can have more than one person using it at once. Why don't they have the tech to make it work? Well, this is my argument, right? Why didn't they just use the same tech as they have for guilds? So that your characters can all pull and access from it at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. Guild banks are slower because there's a verification check that happens on every transaction to make sure that the same item isn't pulling, you know, that 2 people aren't pulling the same item out. The guild bank is slow, but I don't see... I mean, the guild bank tech has been there for how long now? 1,000,000 years? How can they have not have iterated on that and made just a better, faster version? This is the thing. This is, like I said, it's one of the compromises. It's clearly... They clearly have decided that it doesn't impact enough people to make it a high priority thing to add for the launch of the expansion, right? Their priority is to make it work, to make it, you know, to allow people to put shit in it and take stuff out of it. Nice to have features like being able to access it on 2 accounts or 3 accounts or 4, however many accounts you have at the same time. It's such a low priority feature, I suspect, for them. Even though the people who are probably most excited about the war bank were us sweaty goblins that have many accounts and wanted to use it as just one central universal storage for all stuff. We're probably the most passionate about it, but having it just work for everybody is better than it not existing at all, I suspect. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's evergreen. Hopefully they will iterate on it. Hopefully there's more to come. This event is basically perfect for streamers. I mean, WoW's, I can't argue. Like, WoW is a pretty good game for streamers in general. There are so many games out there that are definitely fun, but are definitely not stream worthy. Some of my more favourite games ever, like Factorio, for example, is a fantastic, literally one of my favourite games that's ever been made ever. Top 5 favourite game ever. But Factorio is really not a game you stream. People stream it, but the reason people stream it is because you have to dedicate redonkulous amounts of hours to get anything done in that game. What do we get? Spear, polearm. Tokens of Remembrance. What's this? Contains a random piece of champion gear for your class. Find... Oh, Soulbound? Fucking hell is that Soulbound for? Okay. 493 piece of champion gear. Why is that Soulbound? I mean, I'm glad that's Warbound until equipped, but why the flipping hell is it Soulbound? One is always soulbound. Okay. Oh, that's basically the free 8k currency. Did I get 8k currency out of somewhere? Memories of Kalimdor. Warbound. Combine 20 memories of Kalimdor into a solidified essence. What's the solidified essence? I guess I don't... Oh, these are Warbound as well. Don't press that button yet. I don't know what they make. Oh, I don't have 20 anyway. Currency, residual memories. Okay. 312,000 residual memories. Oh god, I wish I hadn't seen that number. Christ on a bicycle. We got some farming to do, boys and girls. Yeesh. Those memories make the new artifact ring. Oh, the heirlooms. Oh, okay. Heirlooms, nice. Right. Well, I've now had a little bit of a poke around this. I am clearly none the wiser to what the hell's going on with this, but I'll figure this shit out. I need to go get me some food. I'm dubious that I don't burn my voice out. I mentioned this a bit at the beginning of the stream, but I'm not well. I'm about 80% myself right now. I know I've just had 10 days off, but I accidentally caught the plague about 4 days ago, so I'm on the tail end of that. I should be better tomorrow. I need to be better soon because I cannot make YouTube videos with this voice right now. I need to sound better. I can stream. I don't mind streaming with a bit of a dodgy voice, but I can't be making YouTube videos with this voice at the moment. Sound like death warmed up. But we will hopefully have that fixed by tomorrow. If I can get some good rest in. I'm gonna go and figure this out in a little bit more detail. I might actually just level another set of alts later on today. Get the best out of this this free weekend business we have at the moment. But we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for joining today, boys and girls. First day back after a while, a bit rough around the edges, a bit, you know, kind of not not a perfect stream. We started off with flipping technical issues. Of course we did. But I'm about 80, sounds about right. 80%. Shut up. I'm not even halfway to 80. Not even halfway. But yes, boys and girls, thank you all for joining in today. Thank you for the TLDRs on some of this stuff, getting me back up to speed with what's going on. Schedule-wise, it's going to be a little bit all over the place the next couple of weeks, mostly because as soon as I get some of this retail farming business out the way and we're back into beta, I will be doing my utmost to make sure that I am fully prepared for the launch of The War Within, which means I might take a few days to focus on things rather than streaming. So suspect probably 3 streams a week rather than my usual 5 for the next couple of weeks up until the actual launch. But hopefully that means we will have everything I want. What I really want, really want, is a leveling video, a polished, nice, crisp, shiny leveling video for every one of the professions that can be easily followed, preferably skill 1 to 100 where possible. I would like one of those for every profession for the launch of The War Within. If I can get those done, then we can spend any spare time on some like farming-esque content because it's good for views. I hate to say it. I hate to sell out that hard, but farming content is good for views. And more importantly, it will mean that when the game does actually go live, we can just stream it 12 hours a day. We can go hardcore stream, especially during early access, and just get stuff done. If I can get the preparation done before so, it will pay off long term. I hope. But thank you all for joining. Most of you don't care about that. You're just here for the funs and the giggles. So we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, come. Jack's doing a solid job of linking the socials there. Come say hi on the Discord. There's loads of chatter in the Discord. Even I can't keep up with the Discord at the moment. The War Within channel in the Discord is consistently going. People talking between themselves. Feel free to jump in, ask your questions. There's usually plenty of people lurking over there. But yeah, have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. Should keep these outros a little bit shorter. But have fun. See you all next time. Peace.